Alright. Let's get that set up. Yep. Yep. Alright. Let's get that set up. Please work. Yep. Alright. Okay, that works. Awesome. Great. I was gonna destroy something. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that. Okay, we are here. Chapter 3. Chapter 3. Oh my god. I'm already excited. I'm already smiling. Nothing has happened yet. I'm already smiling. Woo! Chapter 3. This chapter is gonna do something to me. I'm just gonna call it here and now. It's gonna do something to me, and I'm not entirely sure what. But we'll see what happens. Ew. Fun times. I missed that sound effect. And I made sure to hit the right. I made sure to hit the old school sound effects and stuff. Curse killing chapter. Man, curse, or coincidence? How are the conjectures inside you solidifying? I look forward to whether those conjectures will waver or become a cornerstone of this scenario. The difficulty is the worst. You will probably not even be able to make conjectures. The shortest scenario? Is this actually the shortest scenario? Is this the shortest chapter in Higurashi? I call bullshit. But at the same time, I want to believe it. Anyways, let's get... Right, I forgot about that. The snake in the well was happy, for it did not care that it was what was outside of the well. The snake in the well was happy, for it not to do what happened outside of the wall. And you were happy too, for you did not know what happened outside the well. This is a work of fiction. Any resemblance to actual persons or organizations are entirely coincidental. 1983, the early summer of the 50... Shit. Shit, I couldn't read it fast enough. It was a very humid day. Here we go. Let's do this. It was a very humid day. Not even a slight breeze was blowing. It had been an unpleasant summer. One that wasn't only hot, but so... Oh my god damn it. There were various articles of clothing hung out to dry in the messy apartment windows, but the lack of wind invoked the impression far removed from coolness. In fact, it only felt more oppressive. There were crooked houses and apartment buildings lining the narrow, twisting road. In addition, there were planters and flower pots whose contents were beginning to wilt, as well as bicycles and motorcycles on the side of the road, making it even more cramped, more oppressive, and all the more sweltering. God damn, I'm starting to wonder if we're still... Nobody who was in this place at the time was visiting it voluntarily. But in spite of what everyone might expect, a single motorcycle came rolling in. The lone motorcycle, which couldn't be called neat even as flattery, pulled up to the two-story apartment complex and stopped there. A man, fairly old and wrinkled, stepped off. Then the housewife was hanging out the laundry, noticed him. She called out, "Well, hello there. It's quite hot today, isn't it?" "Whew, you got that right. I feel like I'm going to boil out here." "Oh, right. Landlord. I didn't think that would be the first thing you said." "Ah, sorry. The fluorescent lights, yeah, right? I completely forgot." "Oh, not that. Don't you smell it? There's a terrible smell about. I've been smelling it since this morning." "Wait, what's this? It reeks. Did the sewers get backed up again?" "Do something about it, landlord. I've had to keep my nose plugged all day long." You still look plenty lovely plugging your nose, my dear. There was an there was an unhygienic drainage channel running behind the apartment. As from which it flowed was stuffed with branches and fallen leaves. And when filth got caught up in them, it created an awful stench in the summertime. Could you tell tell the office about it? The drain will end up buried at this point, right? Well, yikes. It's completely blocked. It'll start back up if you poke it with a stick. The man crossed the fence over to the drainage channel and picked up a filthy drying pole sitting nearby. He must have planned to stick it into the drain to clear it out. Ah, wait, landlord, stop that. If you mix it all strange, if you do that, it will smell terrible. It smells if it's clogged and smells if it's mixed. Which should I choose? He shoved the drying pole into the filth. Of course, it did nothing to help the accumulation of the waste. Gah, it's a dead cat. This is a health center's job. Cats and dogs smell awful when they die. A bamboo pole is not going to do much good. Garbage bags, old clothes, they throw all kinds of stuff in here. And is that a duck I see? Well, of course that stinks. The nerve of some people. The drainage channel was already unsanitary. What was a little more garbage at this fucking point? This is just great. This is just great. I gotta hydrate now. It didn't show up. Okay, thanks, Oni. It didn't show up properly on Streamlabs, but it showed up properly on my phone. I had to pick that up to see. Oh, wait, there we go. Now it showed up properly. I guess it was just loading. There you go, Oni. Thank you for the hydrate, I guess. The stream of such imprudent people was never ending, and now this channel had turned into a garbage dump. When he poked at a pile of old clothes floating in the sewage, a black cloud of smoke floated out in the water. The two of them grimaced at a terribly bizarre and repulsive sight. Gah, we got maggots, eh? Someone must have thrown kitchen waste in. Landlord, what's that? What, just more garbage? Landlord, Lord, that's... Huh? 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 What the hell is this music? Oh, hello, good work today. Ah, what a terrible stench. Hey, someone cover this thing up with a tarp. From the second floor of the houses, it's in full view. What the hell? What the fuck is this music? I did choose the old OST, didn't I? This does not sound like what I was expecting. Well, shit. Housekeeping? I mean, we are talking to a housewife, to be fair. Identity of deceased, unknown, sex female. Oh, of course they found a body. We just started! We're not even 10 minutes in! We're not even 10 minutes in! Estimated to be late 20s or early 30s. Time of death about 2 to 3 days ago. She was probably abandoned after death. Naked too? Figuring out who she is will be rough. Contact the community division and ask if anyone's gone missing. Just got here? Yeah, it's a long story. They probably weighed her down so she'd sink. Then the weights came off and she floated to the top. But why in a drainage sewer of all places? Would have been better under an overpass over in the mountains or something, you know? Yeah, like with Takano in Chapter 2. And it would have been outside our jurisdiction, right? But it looks like they never wanted to hide the corpse at all. Did they do it so she would be found? As a warning or something? This slice in her stomach definitely wasn't from a fish eating her. She was cut open and her insides were dragged out. Oh, yeah. they really made a show out of killing her. Doesn't the Chinese mafia do this sort of stuff as traditional punishments? Ask Shige-san in Sector 4 if he's had any trouble with the Yakuza. On it, sir. Still, what a terrible way to go. Hey, don't her innards poking out like that look sort of like the salad soba that you can get in Kyoto? Maybe you should... Maybe if you stuck chopsticks in, noodles would pop out, see? God damn. Oh, ugh. Please, give me a break. Her intestines were pulled out and her ears and nose were cut off. That's definitely not how I want to go. Her fingers are in a pretty bad state, too. There are long nails stuck into all of them, in both hands. What kind of torture even was this anyway? Well, son of a bitch. We just started. We weren't even 10 minutes in, and we already discovered a... Okay, well, it wasn't... Oh, it's this opening again. I like this opening. It's so good. Is this the same that they had for Chapter 2, or do they have any different visuals? Because it looked like it might be the same. You know what's weird? I watch this all the time, and I always think of it as being an opening for Chapter 1, not Chapter 2 or 3. I don't know. Oh yeah, that. Yo. I hope we get to meet some of these characters, because we didn't meet them in Chapter 2. So I was wondering why they showed up in the first place. I really want to meet her. She seems cool. Oh yeah, let's go back to the storehouse again. Yo! This opening's so good, I swear. Woo! All the more hype. That's how you hype me up. Just give me a good Higurashi opening. The school bell? The most relaxing time during the school day? Lunch for sure. Everyone brought their desks side by side like always, and we all ate together. There they are! There they are! Oh, where is it gonna go all so wrong? We're actually starting in the school this time. That's interesting. Hey, Mion. No hard feelings for Chapter 2, right? I would personally at least hope not. Okay, sorry, let me just turn down, because I wish all the settings like carried over from previous chapters, but they do not, so I always have to constantly go back here and just edit the voices myself. It's not a big deal, just thought I'd do that. Satoko and Rika-chan looked at Mion's lunch, shouting gladly. Let's have a look. Whoa!
昨夜の残りをちょっと詰めてきただけだよ。うちで昨日村長たちが酒盛りしててさ。それで残り物をちょいと取っておいたってわけ。それでお酒のおつまみみたいなおかずが多いんだね。
Okay then, Reina. I don't know why you would know that, but okay.
残り物、つまりは残飯とはいえ、これだけ綺麗に弁当箱に収められてるとなかなかの迫力があるな。高級料亭の懐石弁当みたいだ。
人の印象のほとんどがファーストインプレッションで決まるようにさ、やっぱりお弁当の味も蓋を開けた時の綺麗さに比例するんじゃないかなって。
ミオンさんってガサツそうな性格に見えて、結構こういう盛り付けのセンスがいいんですのよね。お部屋もいつも綺麗に片付いてるし。
Really? Tell me all about it. You better not have that fucking cave still open.
みーちゃんはみんなが思ってるよりずっと几帳面で丁寧な人なんだよ。
It's all the same if it's in your stomach. I have thought that Mion would say something like that, but to think that she had this kind of taste. Well, I guess you can't judge a book by its cover. Mion was careful in everything that she did. She never misstepped, faltered, or even messed up. I see. Well, she is our club president after all.
レナのお弁当も見劣らないのです。カニかまぼこのお花がとても綺麗なのですよ。
レナの弁当ってなんていうか、いつも芸が凝ってるよな。リンゴのウサギさんとか人参の花びらとか。
Rabbits? Of course I jumped to that. Reina's bento wasn't all about taste. It was like, how to say? Well, like she always puts her heart into it, or something along those lines. It wasn't only just good, it made your insides all nice and warm.
ありがとう。みーちゃんにはちょっと及ばないけど、かいいかなって。
Of course you'd want to go to make it cute, Reina. I mean, oh yeah.
料理は技術じゃなくて愛情でしょ。
Well, I guess that is also true, yeah.
その意味でだったら私なんか足元にも及ばないって。
Love, huh? Yeah. Just from looking at her bento, I could definitely feel that Reina put her heart and soul into making it. That's what her bento was like.
お弁当ってのは味だけでなく見た目も大事ってことですわね。私たちも見習わないといけませんわね。
おお。で、その見習わなくちゃならない聡子たちの弁当はどうだ？お、
じゃーん。昨日ご近所さんにお裾分けのお肉をもらったので、今日は焼肉弁当なんですってよ。
Uh-huh. These ones too. They had such an impact. They were bursting at the seams with grilled meat. At a glance, it was too impactful for a girl's bento, but when you brought about eating with all of your friends, it brought more than enough color to the table.
へえ、粗雑な体育会系弁当と見せかけておかずの品数も結構あるみたいじゃない。ほうれん草のおひたしとかひじきの煮物とか。
リカちゃんはこういう気取らない家庭料理がとても上手なんだよね。リカちゃんは将来立派なお嫁さんになれると思うよ。
Okay, I'm sorry. I have to stop because I'm thinking to myself, which one of these four are gonna try to kill me? Okay? Because in Chapter 1, it was Reina and Mion. In Chapter 2, it was Mion, and then for some reason at the end, Shion. Does that mean that either Satoko or Rika is gonna try to get on my ass? I'd hope not. But that's my prediction. I'm probably, of course, super wrong. But, I'm just saying.
未来の旦那様をわしづかみなのです。
A husband for Rika-chan, huh? At first, it sounded appealing. It did, but I felt like a married life with her would be anything but normal. But really, everyone here was amazing. They were all so young, and yet they were all capable of cooking for themselves. I would sort of cook whenever I went camping with my family, but making lunch every day was a level I definitely could not reach. I could only really cook in my spare time. When I thought about it like that, it made everybody else stand out more. Frankly, I respected them. Huh? I feel like maybe this doesn't only apply to other people? Come to think of it, this morning, when I was eating breakfast half asleep, I think my mom was saying something really important. Kay, you good, bro? He literally just out of nowhere just went, wait, shit! My boy Keiichi just go, oh my. Okay, I'm sorry. I can't get over Keiichi's screams. Keiichi's voice actor, in fact, everybody's voice actor in Higurashi, is so damn good. I love them all. They put so much soul into this, and I love it. I can't get enough of it. Oh my god. With a hysteric groan, I suddenly stood up, startling everyone at once.
どうしたのかな急に大声を出すからむせてしまいましたですわ。さとこのお鼻からご飯粒が出てますです。
Wait, what? I've forgotten all this stuff about cooking for yourself. It applied to me too.
圭一、お父さんとお母さんね、またお仕事で東京に行ってこなくちゃならないの。
Damn it! Stop leaving me, Mom and Dad! They always seem to fucking leave me, and that's when shit goes down.
そう。
お父さんの先生にあたる人がね、イベントの直前で倒れちゃったの。とても大切なイベントなんでね、どうしても穴が開けられないのよ。
Well, Dad does what he has to for his job after all.
それでお父さんとお母さん、そのイベントのお手伝いのために大至急東京に行かなくちゃならなくなったの。場合によっては何日か泊まり込みになっちゃうかも。
That sounds annoying.
その間、お母さんたちいないからご飯とかみんな圭一が自炊しなくちゃならないんだけど、圭一は大丈夫？
大丈夫大丈夫。人間追い詰められたら何でもできるんだから。
Humans can do anything when they're desperate.
そうなら安心ね。ご飯くらいは炊けるでしょ。お味噌汁も作れるわよね。あとは適当にお惣菜を買ってくればご飯らしくなるから。
A meal? Yeah. I could cook rice with my camping kit. Never used a rice cooker before. I've only ever made instant miso soup that you make in a pot with boiling water too. Well, I'll think of something.
自炊できるなら置いていくお金は少しでいいわよね。外食は高いからしちゃダメよ。圭一もそろそろ自炊と経済観念を学んでもいい頃だからね。
Yep. I get by. I'll get by.
なんとかなるか。
What was I thinking? I was half asleep and I made such a crazy, empty promises? Just like manga characters always do at these times, I bent over backwards and scratched furiously at my head. Scratch.
ふーん、圭一くんのご両親って大変なんだね。圭一くん、しっかりお留守番をしてなきゃね。
そんなことより飯だ飯。親がいないんだぞ。全部自分で作らなきゃならないんだぞ。これは超緊急事態だ。
Oh my god, Keiichi.
それなら覚悟を決めて自炊なさればいいではありませんの。圭一さん、以前のカレーパーティーで見事なカレーを作ってみせたではありません？
For the curry party previously? I mean... Is this implying that that certain events in Chapter 2 happened? Like that curry competition?
あのな、俺に作れるのはデイキャンプでおふくろに教えてもらったカレーがせいぜいなんだよ。3食カレーなんか食えるかよ。カレーなんて所詮はジャンクフード。栄養バランスなんてかけらもない。実にいい加減な。バカ。
Yasuksa-say, what if the teacher is hearing? Miyana and Sadako put their hands over my mouth. A moment later, the door rattled open, and Chie-sensei, a known curry maniac, suddenly poked her head in.
今、誰かカレーの悪口を言っていませんでしたか？
Everyone's faces went totally white and they all shook their heads in denial. Her eyes rolled around the classroom. Her glare wasn't just a teacher ordinary stare.
そうですか。空耳でしたか。
Chie Sensei gave one more look around the classroom, then closed the door and went back into the teacher's lounge. You got ears of a fucking hound! Holy shit! I may have been shouting, but for her to hear that all the way across the hall in the teacher's lounge? Damn, that teacher's horrifying.
ケイちゃん、他の食べ物はいくらこき下ろしてもいいけど、カレーだけはやめた方がいいよ。ひなみ沢に住んでいるうちは。
すまん。反省します。
That's what I said, but still, I can't have curry for every meal. A cup of ramen is good because you can only eat it once in a while. If you ate it for every meal, you'd get bored of it pretty quickly. Rice and miso soup is a good side dish. Yeah, that's what a Japanese table should look like.
ケイチ君も頑張って自炊してみればいいのに。自分で作ったご飯ってとっても美味しいんだよ。
おじさんは美味しいってよりめんどくさいけどな。でもたまにはそういう経験もいいかもね。
そうそう、人生何事も経験でございましたよ。小指を切ったりやけどをしたりでかわいそうなのです。
Thanks for the motivation, Rika. God. Shui just went, you could probably cut yourself on a knife. Be careful, Keiichi. Fucking hell, Rika! With everyone encouraging me like this, I started to feel like maybe I could do it if I tried too. Though, approximately one person didn't sound like she was encouraging me. That's true! Even Satoko was encouraging me. And it's Satoko! Cooking is a skill I have to learn at some point. Since I want to live on my own one day, maybe learning now wouldn't be so bad? I'm pretty uneasy.
そうだな。この辺で多少の料理くらい得得しておかないと、今度部活で料理勝負になった時が辛い。
そうですわね。いつぞやのカレー勝負のような奇策は何度も通用しませんでございますしね。
Okay, so the curry event, the curry contest that happened in chapter 2 apparently canonically happened. What? Huh? What do you mean? It canonically happened? As if scorning me, Satoko ridicules my comeback from a hopeless situation in a certain do-or-die curry showdown.
何を余裕ぶってやがる。あの時だってサトコはリカちゃんに任せっきりだったじゃないか。あの時サトコがした料理は何だ。レナのカレーに塩を一袋入れて、ミオンのご飯に塩を一袋入れて、俺の鍋をひっくり返しやがって。
Perhaps into a grudge over the last curry showdown. For now, I calm my unquellable anger by pinching Satoko's ears. Don't mess with Keiichi Maibara.
あれは部活だからの攻撃なんでございましてよ。
Okay, well, actually, I can't really argue with that, but still, you could have just attacked only one of us. You attacked everybody.
私だってこう見えてもちょっとはお料理とかできましたよ。
I mean, I figured that you could. Trust me, Chapter 2 showed me that you're actually really good at it.
ほう？あのカレー勝負の時、リカちゃんに任せっきりで人参の皮一つ剥かなかったお前がか？肩腹痛いわ。
人間は日々進歩してますのよ。私がいつまでもお料理が下手っぴだと思ってると大間違いなんでしてよ。ねえリカ、僕が見てないとお鍋とか火元とか不安なのです。たまにガスの元栓も閉め忘れてるのです。
Everybody else bursts out into laughter.
火元は料理以前の問題だ。いくら俺でもそれだけはない。
That says a bunch, Kay.
カップラーメンばかり食べてる人に言われたくありませんわ。でもさとこちゃんもそこそこにはお料理とかできるんだよ。
Let's hope she doesn't burn down the fucking house while she's at it.
いいぞレナ。こんなやつのためにわざわざフォローなんかしてやることはないんだぞ。
いや別にフォローってわけじゃないよ。リカちゃんがずば抜けて料理がうまいから目立たないだけでさ。さとこちゃんだってまあ基本くらいはマスターしてるよね。少なくともご飯とお味噌汁くらいは作れますわ。
I mean, that's better than what I can do.
カリフラワーとブロッコリーの見分けはつかないけど。
Oh, god come on.
どっちも茹でれば食べられるのも同じですわ。
I mean, I personally wouldn't know, but Satsuko erupted into anger, making two fists, swinging them above her head. Everyone laughed a lot after that.
他の人にならともかくケイチさんに笑われるのだけは我慢がなりませんですわ。
確かに俺は他のみんなよりも料理技術は劣るかもしれない。だけどな、少なくともサトコにだけは負けない自信はあるぞ。少なくともサトコにだけは。
なんですって。急にこと書いて自信があるとは肩払いたくて笑っちゃいますわ。こう見えても私リカと交代でご飯をちゃんと作ってますよ。ちゃんと自炊ぐらいできるんでございますからね。
そうかそうか、自炊ができて偉いな。後でご褒美に飴玉買ってやるからな。
I patted Satsuko on the head while I made fun of her. Satsuko seemed to know that I was making fun of her too, since her face went bright red very quickly and steam started to pour out of her like she was a kettle.
全然信じてませんのね。とにかくケイチさんより私の方が全然お料理が上手なんでございますのよ。
ほう、じゃあカリフラワーとブロッコリーの違いを言えたら俺も信じてやるぞ。
Kay, no!
俺、言ってみろ。
Keiichi! Keiichi!
緑の方がブロッコリー。
Okay.
どっちなくて黄色い
Oh,
方。
damn it! Come on! You were on it, actually!
カリフラワーが青、赤、緑。
Where'd you get red from?
ほれほれ、ブロッコリーは何色だ？青、赤、緑ってテレビのブラウン管じゃあるまいし。ほれほれ、言ってみろ言ってみろ。
Okay.
別にブロッコリーが何色かわかんなくてもさとこちゃんはお料理ができるんでちゅよね。偉い偉いでちゅよ。
Okay, Kay.
ケイチさんのバカ。
Oh, it was nothing to cry hysterically over. She's just so goddamn cute. I stroked her head as hard as I could. Ruffle, ruffle, ruffle.
ほー、ケイちゃんもそこまで言うからにはサトコよりはまともなものを作ってみせられるんだろうね。
Remarked Mion, giving me a slightly mean smile. Actually, well, okay, I had no confidence at all in my cooking, but the situation carried me along, so I decided to deliver an impressive declaration.
まあ見ていろ。今夜俺はバッチリガッチリ見事な晩飯を作ってみせる。少し余計に作って明日の弁当にしてくるから、それを見て腰を抜かすがいい。
Someone's gonna get food poisoning.
それは楽しみなのです。明日のお弁当が待ち遠しいのですよ。
Rika-chan petted me on the head. Her words of can't wait sounded so transparent.
レナも楽しみにしてるね。どんなのを作ってきても レナは笑わないからね。
Reina! Reina! Hot damn! Reina! Making it seem like I can't do jack shit for myself. What the hell?
となると明日の弁当は私も本気で作らなきゃならないようだね。じゃあこうしようか。明日のお弁当で勝負ってのはどう？もちろん部活扱いだからね。罰ゲームもついちゃうよ。
Ah, the club activities. How I miss them.
あら、それは妙案でございますわね。どうですケイチさん、聞くなら今のうちでしてよ。
Satsuko wiped her tears and snarled at me, as if it was her chance to turn things around. Maybe this might be bad. I feel like maybe the conversation is getting pretty out of hand. Oh, if I apologize, was my chance? But what came out of Keiichi, my brother's mouth was a statement so reckless that it even frightened me.
ああ、上等だぜ。明日の弁当を見て腰を抜かすなよ。
Everyone raised their voice in surprise at my bold yet confident reply. Ugh, now I've done it! What have I done? I'm so irresponsible!
さてミオさん、ビリになったらどんな素敵な罰ゲームになってしまうんですの？
Satsuko grinned fearlessly, as if to say that it was already decided that I'd be playing that said fantastic punishment game.
そうだね。じゃあこんなのはどうかな。明日のお弁当勝負に負けた人は明日のお昼休み職員室で食事中の千恵先生の前でカレーの悪口を言うってのは。
Mion, you psycho!
みーちゃん、それはなんて
How?
恐ろしい。
Everyone went pale and gasped at how truly terrifying the punishment game really was. Chie-sensei is a maniac about curry that she'd even risk her life for it. And to go up to her and start saying bad things about curry? What kind of fate would potentially await us? Just trying to imagine it was horrifying. As everyone looked blankly amazed at how terrifying the punishment game was, Rika spoke.
明日のお弁当は腕によりをかけますです。
Reina, Mion, Satsuko, all nodded deeply in agreement.
もっともケイチさんには明日のお弁当以前に今夜のお夕食の方が問題でしょうけどね。
俺が今夜どんな素晴らしいディナーになるか見ることができなくて残念だな。明日の弁当でその片鱗をほんの少しだけ見せてやるから楽しみにしていろよ。
あれだけの大見栄を切ったんですのよ。これでとんでもないのを作っちゃったらどうなるか分かってるんでございましょうね。
さとここそ明日千恵先生にどんな恐ろしい目に遭わされるか今から楽しみで仕方ないだろう。
Honestly, I fear for anybody at this point. I don't want anyone to go up to Chie and say that.
楽しみでしてよ。
I hope there's a plot twist where we all die.
明日ケイチさんはきっと土下座してそれだけはどうかご勘弁をって泣きながら言うんでしてよ。はあ、目に浮かぶようですわ。
何よ。
Stretch. Both of us on the verge of tears pull each other's cheeks. Stretch.
自らを窮地に追い込むことで視力を振り絞ろうとは。ケイちゃん、男だね。
こんなの男なんて言いませんのよ。 ただの無鉄砲って言いますのよ。自分もお料理なんかろくろくできないくせに。レナは信じてるからね。素敵なお弁当楽しみにしてるよ。
There we go.
僕も明日の圭一がとても楽しみなのですよ。
Their expectant gazes were painful. I was just trying to tease Satoko a little. How the hell did it come to this?
おう、楽しみにしててくれよ。
How am I able to say such reckless things? I'm being so irresponsible. What the heck is going to happen to my dinner? And the bento showdown tomorrow? No, more importantly, if they make me say bad things about curry to Chie-sensei's face, what the hell will happen to me? The extreme contrast between my outward bravado and my eternal screaming continued to be hot as the hot and humid June afternoon dragged on. Oh my god. This chapter is amazing so far. I am loving every goddamn second of it. That entire day, up until school was over, the whole time, my meal tonight and my bento tomorrow were the only things that I had in mind. And now that I thought about it, it made Mom seem amazing for planning 3 meals every day of the year. I complained about having the same meal in a row once in a while, but now I know how rude that really was. Ugh. More importantly, what the hell am I gonna do about this punishment game tomorrow? And besides that, what am I gonna eat tonight? Boo-hoo.
圭一くん、圭一くん。
ごめん。ちょっと考え事を。
今夜の献立のこと？それとも明日のお弁当勝負のことかな？
I'd be lying if I didn't say both. Ugh. She hit the mark and I couldn't find anything to say. And my facial expression made it pretty obvious that she hit the mark.
明日の勝負はきっと圭一くんが頑張ってお弁当を作ってこれたらそれで大丈夫だと思うよ。頑張って作った手作りのお弁当に優劣なんかないもの。
明日の勝負以前に今夜の晩飯だよ。食中毒でばったり行くかもしれ
I
ない。
might suddenly get food poisoning. I couldn't make any more bluffs. I exaggeratedly drooped my shoulders and heaved a sigh from the bottom of my gut. Reina laughed with a shrill wave when she saw me do that.
やっぱり圭一くんお料理全然自信なんかなかったんだね。
Oof. So I've been found out.
もしも圭一くんがどんなに頑張っても無理そうだったらレナに電話してもいいからね。
本当か？
圭一くんがちゃんと頑張ったらだよ。何も苦労しないで人に頼ろうとしちゃダメなんだから。
Reina seemed naive, but somehow she was very instructive. She didn't just spoil people unconditionally. Reina always seemed like an adult at these kind of times.
どうしてもダメだったら電話するよ。その確率は極めて高いが。
ファイト王だよ。さとこちゃんにあれだけ大見栄を切ったんだから頑張らなきゃね。
なあ、さとこってどの程度の料理ができるんだ？
少なくとも圭一くんよりはできるよ。
Oof! Well, that was direct. Hit me pretty damn hard.
さとこちゃんをあれだけいじめたんだから圭一くんはちょっぴり苦労をしてもいいかもね。
レナって結構意地悪なのな。
レナは可愛いだけじゃないんだよ。だよ。
Yeah, chapter 1 taught me that. great. Now that I have provoked Satoko that much, I couldn't just make some crummy bento. I can't believe how loose-lipped I am.
じゃあね。頑張ってね。お料理。圭一くんがやればできるってこと、みんなに見せてあげようね。
I waved my hand absently in response. Leaving me with words of encouragement and a few pieces of super beginner advice, Reina disappeared past the trees. Alrighty. That music was actually timed really well with that. And it just starts back up. Damn it. Fine. I'm desperate. So what? I may not know the ABCs of navigation, and I have neither sea chart nor a compass. But still, what idiot is taking on the ocean of great cooking age alone? And his name is Keiichi Maibara. You're gonna die, Kei.
Yosh!
We already got this music playing.
Iza! Ryori!
My enthusiasm is peerless. If energy and recklessness was all it took, I could take over the world! Someone's sounding a lot like me. However, there are plenty of things in the world that can't be achieved with resolution alone. And cooking was probably the top contender. Therefore, even if it was hastily prepared knowledge, I wanted something to help me. I made up my mind and fished through the kitchen cabinets. I was on the hunt for some form of a cookbook. My mom should have at least a few, though. For a complete amateur like me, the first thing I needed was some information. Just like he, who would cross the oceans, needed a compass. For me, a cookbook was absolutely indispensable. Oh, here's one! Its worn out, wrinkled cover made it seem somehow reliable. Alright. As long as I've got this.
考えるより産むが安しだな。お料理の本さえあれば誰だってシェフの味が出せるじゃんよ。さすがはお料理の本。
And as such optimistic thoughts filled my chest, I flipped through the pages. However, it played with technical terminology like toys. I just couldn't see how to actually make things. You knew it all along, Keiichi Maibara. If anyone could make a delicious food just by reading a book, then there would be no such job as a gourmet chef in the first place. First of all, it calls for 3 teaspoons. But which spoon is that? And it keeps saying to use however much you like. How much exactly are you supposed to use? Stop using such obscure expressions. Oh my god. Strain out the water in a... Add salt and pepper to taste? What the heck is that? And strain it out like stretching? You can't stretch water droplets like a meat. And besides, how much salt and pepper is supposed to be there anyway?
もっと初心者に優しいマニュアルはないのか
It won't do you any good to yell. Cool off, Keiichi Maibara. Think calmly. For now, I'll leave the side dish until after. The rice is more important. I'll have to cook the rice, or I can't even start. I know a little about how to cook rice. I didn't cook it with my camping kit when camping all the time for nothing. I'll wash the rice. There should be enough water. And which switch was it? Is it this button? Oh, and the lamp turned on. Yeah, fully automatic rice cookers are one of the 3 sacred treasures after all. Now pleased by the rice cooker set, I pulled myself together and decided to take on the miso soup next. The miso soup I had made all day at camp was an instant kind after all. Well, it would be fine if I just melted the miso into hot water to cook down. I'll boil the water, put in the miso. How much should I put in?
何人数とお好みで適量にまたしても抽象表現か
Oh my god!
ああそれなら適量に入れてやるさ
I crushed the bag of miso in my fist and put half of the contents into the pot. Is this really okay? Maybe it's a bit too hearty.
濃厚なお味の味噌汁がいいって言うもんなそういえばお袋の味噌汁は少し薄すぎる気がしてたんだ俺にはこれくらい入れた方が合うかもしれない
I said it out loud as if trying to convince myself. Then convinced by my own words, I nodded to myself. Alright, the rice and miso soup were probably fine. Next, the side dish. But what should I make? Something I could make that would add color to the meal. That's it. Why don't I stir fry some vegetables? You can eat vegetables raw too, and they won't die just from a little bit of fire. I was so cute that not realizing that the level of my thoughts had fallen from what would look great in the meal to what would be easy to make. There were quite a few vegetables in the refrigerator. What kind of vegetables go into stir fry? Bean sprouts? Cabbage? Chives? Onions? Can you even put cucumbers and lettuce in? For now, I grabbed nearby cutting board and cut them into chunks and tossed them into a water. This has gotten pretty exciting. Is this the true worth of cooking? Yeah, you guys know I'm not reading that. Hey, this is actually kind of getting fun. All of a sudden, there was a pile of vegetables in the wok. Alright, next is the salad oil. Went the salad oil. It'll be more exciting if I filled it to the brim. Whoops, it leaked out. Well, no point in worrying about something so minor. The great Keiichi Maibara's cooking is exciting. Okay, let's turn on the heat. Whoosh! The salad oil from them caught on fire and flames reached up to the sky.
すげえなんだか俺って鉄人って感じ俺ってひょっとして炎の料理人なんじゃ
Those words were spoken by delusion. I was saying something outrageously careless, but when the words came out, they sort of convinced me. Kei?
そうさ俺は料理の鉄人
Keiichi?
あちゃちゃちゃちゃちゃ
Right. Right as the crazy color flames started to burn the ceiling, I finally realized that the fabulous cooking before my eyes accumulated into an actually life-threatening disaster. Wait, what? Could I have been doing something insane? The force of the flame grew stronger and stronger. Wait, what?
何をしてるでございますの早く火を止めなさいですわ
Somebody forcefully struck me in the back of the head. When I turned around to see what was going on, to my surprise, it was Satoko and Rika-chan.
えさとこリカちゃん
I stood in wonder at their unexpected entrance. Satoko shoved me out of the way and turned off the gas. Then Rika-chan got a towel, soaked it in water, and spread it out and placed it all over the pot. She continued to soak more towels and put on a second, then a third. Once a whole bunch were piled on, the fire finally stopped. What the shit? All of it had happened in just a few moments. Having avoided a huge fire by a hair's breadth, the three of us gasped for air.
ってお前らなんで俺の家にいるんだ住居不法侵入だぞ
それを言うなら圭一さんなんか放火の現行犯でございますのよ。もうすぐで大火事になるところだったではございません。
Well,
圭一は今日から宿なしでかわいそかわいそなのです。
and after pretending that I was to be an Iron Chef, I finally began to take this in the situation.
やっぱりあれは火事になりかけてた。
当たり前でございませんの。ほらご覧なさいませ。天井がすすけてるではございません。すすけていいのは男の背中だけですのよ。
Satoko was seriously mad at me. Maybe they just saved my life. Oops. According to what they said, I was so absorbed in my firing cooking that I hadn't noticed when Satsuko and Rika-chan rang the doorbell. But they could tell someone was home, so they came in to check. Thank goodness they did.
僕とさとこが来なかったら今頃ボーボーで消防車がうーなのです。
Yeah, I'd imagine so.
圭一さん、そろそろ事の重大さが飲み込めまして。
At some point, I sat down on my knees as I listened obediently.
すみませんでした。皆さんは命の恩人です。
素敵なディナーがどんなものかと来てみれば案の定このざまですし、これじゃ出来上がりを見るまでもありませんわね。
嫌味なやつ。じゃあさとこたち、俺が夕食にどんなものを作るか見に来たってわけか。
その嫌味に命と家を助けられたのよく肝に銘じた方がよろしいのではありません？
はい、すみませんでした、さとこさん。
At this point, having shown them such a disaster, I couldn't exactly make any more bluffs. I completely surrendered.
カレーの時は結構頑張ってましたの。あの時の圭一さんはどこに行ってしまいましたの？まったく。
あの時は後輩職に手伝ってもらって他の班の鍋を丸ごと借りただけで、別に俺が料理したわけじゃ。
圭一さん、そんなズルをしてましたの？まったく、いくら部活とはいえとんでもない手を使いますのね。
You trust me. Wait till you hear about how I got them to help me cheat. Pouring salt into the other team's pots seemed far more terrible than me. But Satsuko was in control right now, so I couldn't respond. I obediently hung my head to her.
ところで圭一さん、この凄まじいお鍋、まさか味噌汁だなんて言わないでしょうね。
Satsuko stared at the pot, totally full of miso, with an awful expression. So I really did get the amount wrong. Judging by the look of Satsuko's face, whatever was in the pot couldn't be called miso anymore.
味噌汁はともかく、ご飯はうまく炊けたはずだ。最近の炊飯器は便利だからな。きっとそろそろ炊けてる頃だ。
炊けてないです。ほら、まだ中身も全然お水なのですよ。
え？あれ？だってちゃんとスイッチを入れたらランプが点灯して。
圭一さん、あなたが押したボタン、これタイマーのボタンですのよ。朝食用にセットしてあるから電源が入るのは明日の早朝でしたよ。
ってことは何か？俺は結局おかずは元より味噌汁もご飯すらも何も自炊できなかったってことか。
ざまあありませんわね。どうです？ようやく身の程を思い知りまして。さあ認めなさいませ。私前原圭一は北条聡子さんよりもお料理の下手っぴな口先男でしたって。
にぎゃー！私はさとこより料理の下手っぴなダメダメ男でございました。どうもすみませんでした。
Oh god, I fainted in absolute agony. Mika-chan pat my head, satisfied at the sight, and Satsuko laughed loudly in triumph. I'm completely lost. the end, I talked big, but couldn't even make a single dish. At this rate, I'll go without dinner. And tomorrow morning, no breakfast, no bento for lunch either. I didn't know how many days it would be before my parents have returned, but at this rate, without a doubt...
飢え死にだ
みー
Don't sound happy at that!
もちろん明日の弁当もなし
みー
Break up!
そして明日の罰ゲームも俺で決まりギャー
みー
You're not helping! Rika-chan kept on patting my head with a smile on her face that couldn't possibly get any bigger. Satsuko, completely appalled by how unsightly I looked, heaved a heavy sigh.
大の男が情けないったらありゃしませんのね。
Truth.
ほら、おどき遊ばせ。
As I sobbed like a girl, Satsuko, displeased, brushed me aside, dumped the remains of the miso soup in the sink tidy, and began to rinse out the pot.
いいよサトコ自分の後片付けくらい俺がやるよ
I couldn't have Satsuko clean up the cooking utensils I made a mess of. But when I tried to stop her, Rika-chan pulled on my clothes.
圭一は黙って見ているといいのですよ。
She grinned as she said it.
黙って見てろって何言ってるんだリカちゃん
まあ、そういうことですわね。圭一さんは黙って私に任せればいいんですのよ。
Satsuko turned around and declared, seeming bothered. As if to say that amateurs should just keep their hands off. Well, okay. Yeah, I mean, when you put it like that, use bitch. Her annoyed expression was a little bit scary.
任せるって何を
Satsuko didn't answer. Instead, she spun back around and began to rifle through the pots in the refrigerator.
おいおいあまりいじり回すなよひっくり返したりしたら俺が後でお袋に怒られるんだからな
うるさい男ですわね。男子厨房に立ち入らずでしたよ。
Oh shit, what the fuck?
いいかあいあいさーですよ。
What? Satsuko snapped her fingers and Rika-chan got on her tippy toes and grabbed me by the back of my neck and started dragging me away. Leaving Satsuko alone in the kitchen, Rika-chan dragged me back into the living room.
おいおいリカちゃんもう話してくれよサトコに任せたら台所が大変なことに
今日のさとこは圭一を見返しに来たのですよ。復讐なのです。
復讐そういえばサトコのやつどこか険しい顔を
Eventually, from the kitchen, there was a sound of a faucet being twisted and the stove dial being turned. I began to hear the nostalgic sounds that made me envision dinner time. The refrigerator opening and closing, the ingredients being cut on the chopping board. What did that mean? Was Satsuko... Was she cooking?
圭一にいっぱいいっぱいバカにされましたですから。さとこは自分にもお料理がちゃんとできるところを圭一に見せたかったのですよ。
こうして音だけ聞いてる限りではお皿を落とす音も破裂音も爆発音も聞こえてこないな
At this point, at least she had proven that she was more of a skillful cook than me. In the cooking showdown with Satsuko Hoju and Keiichi Maibara, it looked like the victory had already been decided. I recalled Satsuko's slightly annoyed expression from
俺日中サトコのことをちょっとバカにしすぎちゃったよなひょっとしてそれで根に持たれた
We were just provoking at each other with our usual back and forth, but I also think I maybe overdid it. At the very least, I shouldn't have made fun of Satsuko, who could cook for herself when I never cooked it other than a recreation before.
さとこはそんなの根に持っていませんです。
でもこうしてわざわざ俺のところまで押しかけてきたくらいだろやっぱり怒ってるに違いないよ
I quietly take a peek into the kitchen. She definitely looked different than the usual bird-brained Satsuko. Her eyes were sharp and her movements were brisk, to the point to where it was almost a little bit scary. Then she must have noticed me because she turned around and shot me with an annoyed glare. I cringed in fear and hastily pulled my head back out.
怒ってる。やっぱり怒ってる。ああ、俺はどんな復讐をされるんだろう。ああ。
聡子は失敗したくないから真剣なだけなのです。怒ってなんかいないのですよ。
あれのどこが怒ってないって言うんだよ。あんなおっかなそうな聡子初めて見たよ。
I mean, something tells me we could see her become even more frightening in the future. I'm just saying, like, anything could probably happen at this fucking point. I wouldn't put it past this world. I really would not. Like, there's gonna be a bunch of shit happening, and it's gonna be probably terrifying. Probably. I don't know for certain, but you know.
圭一さん、ちょっと聞こえてますの？
はい。
I jumped at Satsuko's angry outburst and faced towards the kitchen. I felt exactly like a kid who had done something bad and gotten called to the teacher's lounge.
お味噌ってどこにしまってありますの？冷蔵庫がでっかくて全然わかりませんですわよ。
すみません。味噌はその冷蔵庫の中段扉の中の下の網棚の左奥に。
なんですのこれは。お味噌のパックは使ったらちゃんと口を閉じなさいですわよ。冷蔵庫の中がお味噌で汚れてしまってるではありませんの。
いやすみません。
Before I could look for anything to wipe it with, Satsuko wiped it off with a wet dish towel.
まったく男の人ってのはどうしてこう後片付けがずさんなんでございますの？そのまま大人になったらと思うとゾッとしましてよ。
I couldn't talk back to Satsuko today. The only thing I could do was obediently lower my head and apologize. As Satsuko nitpicked and I apologized, a good smell began to fill the kitchen.
お味噌汁のお味噌はこう。お玉に少量をすくい取ってお箸で溶きながら少しずつ加えて味見をしながら慎重にですのよ。丸ごとひねり出してお鍋に開けちゃうなんて言語道断でしたよ。
すみません。家庭科の授業は真面目にやってませんでした。
情けない。まったくこれだから男の人は。
This is getting very stereotypical, this chapter. Holy shit. Oh my god. I cowered at her annoyed sounding muttering, but looking at her like this, she seemed quite good at cooking. It had just been overshadowed by Reina's and Rika-chan's artistic abilities. Satsuko's skills were completely enough to get passing marks.
さあさあ、そんなところでぼーっとしてる暇がございましたら食卓にお茶碗の用意をなさいませ。私もリカも食べますから用意は3人分ですわよ。
はい。
I hastily took the 3 people's worth of dishes and such from the cabinets and headed to the dining room. Then I returned there. I could hear laughter from a variety show on the television. Rika-chan was sprawled out on the couch, watching television and relaxing. When she noticed me putting out the dishes on the table, she came scampering up.
もうすぐご飯なのです。圭一のうちでご飯なのです。ニパー。
リカちゃんは上機嫌みたいだな。聡子の不機嫌とはえらい違いだ。
聡子は全然不機嫌じゃないです。久しぶりにとても楽しそうなのですよ。
楽しそう？あれがか？
聡子がニーニーと一緒だった頃みたいです。
Oh, you mean Satoshi? Oh no! Oh! I already started tearing up for a second. Oh!
こんなに楽しそうな聡子を見るのは本当に久しぶりなのですよ。
Nini? What the heck is Nini? Is it a sound that cats make?
ニーニーはニーニーです。聡子のお兄さんなのですよ。
聡子の兄。
サトシと言いますです。 名前くらい聞いたことがありませんですか？
Satoshi. Satoshi Hoju? Maybe I have, but maybe I haven't? At least he didn't go to our school.
サトシっていうのか、サトコの兄貴は。初めて聞いたな。
She had a brother, huh? I didn't know that. Well, she does have one. Saying that, Rika-chan grinned even more brightly and went Nipa again.
サトシと一緒にいる時のサトコはいつもこんな風で楽しそうだったのですよ。本当に久しぶりにこんな楽しそうなサトコを見ますのです。
However, I looked at it, she seemed to be in a bad mood. But her good friend Rika-chan is saying that it was absolutely the opposite. The opposite.
楽しそうなのか。
きっとニーニーと一緒だったから思い出してるに違いないのです。懐かしいのですよ。
懐かしい？じゃあ今はサトコとは別居なのか。
Maybe Satoko's older brother Satoshi is actually a lot older than her. He must have gone off on his own and was living by himself.
サトコはそのサトシって兄と仲は良かったみたいだな。
はい、とても仲良しな兄弟だったです。
She spread her arms wide to demonstrate the weight of how well they got along. According to Rika-chan, Satoko supported her docile, slightly unreliable older brother through nagging. That was their relationship. I see. That certainly applied to this current situation. We had me, unreliable, unable to cook even a single dish properly, and Satoko, who redid it while scolding me. Could Satoko have been getting a glimpse of her brother, and who now lived far away through me?
いつもあんな感じでサトシに小言を言いながら、だけどしっかりと支えながら仲良く生活してたんだな。
今日圭一のところへ来たのだってサトコが言い出したのですよ。
She said, "There's no way the unreliable Keiichi-san could possibly make dinner. We need to go make it for him."
じゃあ別に復讐とか見返すとかそういう意味で来たんじゃなかったのか。
放っておけなかったのですよ。サトコは今でもしっかり者の妹なのです。
I was an only child. I didn't know how it felt to have siblings. Of course, I've never had a little sister like Satoko, but I felt like at this moment I was an older brother, obediently and helplessly being looked after by her. Without any teasing or messing around. I'm going to give thanks for her trouble. That's what I honestly thought.
圭一さん、おしゃもじがどこにあるかわかりませんでしたよ。
ああ、ごめん。しゃもじはその右脇の引き出しの中に。
I ran to the kitchen, got the ladle out of the drawer, and offered it to Satoko.
さあ出来上がりでしたよ。もうお茶碗とかは準備できてますの？
ああ、もう準備 OK だぜ。
ではご飯にしましょうですわね。リカ、お夕飯ですわよ。みー。
I heard Rika-chan's voice coming from the dining room. Satoko turned off the gas flame on the stove and lifted up the pot of miso soup.
圭一さんは炊飯器を持ってきてくださいます？ひっくり返さないように注意するんですのよ。
ああ、気をつけるよ。
I could carry rice cookers just fine without being warned about it. I thought about replying to it, but I decided not to. No mean words or witty retorts today. Rice with steam billowing from it, and miso soup, as well as a handful of side dishes. On the table was truly firm, family-oriented dinner. It wasn't weird at all or extravagant. It was a daily meal, a sort of the sort a housewife would make. It was very nonchalant and brimming with liveliness.
ではいただきますですわよ。
いただきまーす。
At Satsuko's command, Rika-chan and I both thanked her in a loud voice.
俺サトコのことを侮ってたよ。完全に敗北だ。
少しは見直しまして。リカやレナさんに比べれば私もまだまだですけど、頼りないケイチさんなんかよりはよっぽどお料理ができましたよ。
へいへい、おみそれしやした。
After I honestly admitted my defeat, Satsuko's expression finally softened, and she laughed with her normally loud and cheerful voice.
お、ご飯いい感じで炊き上がってるな。
Though she used a rice cooker, it tasted a little different from the rice my mom made. Maybe she used a different amount of water in it? Even so, I could feel Satsuko's personality from the rice. It made it taste better than usual. The miso soup was a little on the thick side, but it was still delicious. The side dishes, while not exactly flashy, tasted great as well. It was also appetizing that I couldn't stop
お
eating.
かずもよくできてるよ。サトコも決して料理は下手じゃないぞ。
I gave my honest impression without a hint of sarcasm. Satsuko seemed to have been expecting some, because when I praised her, honestly, she got flustered instead.
褒められるのは光栄ですけど、そんなに立派ではありませんのよ。おかずはお惣菜屋さんで買ったものを温めただけですし、これとこれは缶詰を開けただけですし、自分でちゃんと作ったのはご飯と味噌汁だけなんですのよ。
Satsuko said, embarrassed, her face a bit flushed. There was none of her normal verbal abuse or sarcasm in there either.
ご飯とお味噌汁しか作ってませんけど、出来合いのおかずを並べればそこそこに立派にはなりますのよね。
うちのおふくろだって出来合いのお惣菜は使うし、缶詰だって使うよ。そんなので恥ずかしがることはないだろう。これは立派な夕食だよ。
I gave her honest praise. I've never met Satsuko's brother, but Satoshi would probably have praised her in the same way.
まあ私にもそこそこのお料理ができることが分かっていただけたのでしたら、それで十分ですわね。おかわりいります？お味噌汁はまだありますですわよ。
Huh? Did that brat just awkwardly change the subject? When I realized my response had been on the mark, it made me really happy.
こうしてご飯を食べてると、サトシと一緒にご飯を食べてるみたいで楽しいのです。
Rika-chan mentioned Satsuko's older brother's name again. Satsuko's chopsticks paused, then she looked up at the ceiling.
懐かしいですわね。一体今頃どこでどうしてるやら。
She had a faraway smile, as if yearning for a friend who had moved away. Okay, so wait. I'm assuming we're probably gonna learn this soon, but in this scenario, is Satoshi still demoned away? Or is he maybe alive, and he actually is moved away somewhere? Regardless, I'm sure I'm getting the answer soon, but it's an interesting thought I'm gonna have in my head now. From how it looked, I got the impression that she hadn't seen Satoshi in quite some time. Satsuko realized I had given her a blank stare.
申し訳ないですわね。サトシっていうのは私のニーニーじゃなくて兄なのですのよ。
あ、うん、そうなんだ。
Nini must have been a nickname only Satsuko used for him. It was funny to see her hastily deny it.
あんなに生活力のない人に家出なんて解消があったなんてびっくりでございますけど。まあ、そのうち値を上げでひょっこり帰ってくるに決まってますわ。
家出したんだ。
There was another story to what Satsuko had said so cheerfully. The reason for Satoshi not living with her was a little serious. Everyone had been talking about it in an upbeat way, so I continued to talk about him. Should I have not broached the subject at all? I hastily took a look at Satsuko's face, thinking that, but there was no trace of any gloomy expression that I had been worried about.
まあ、一人暮らしに憧れるなんて年頃らしい夢ではありませんの。どうせニーニーには長続きするはずもありませんけどね。ご来性のない人ですから。サトシはああ見えてもとても我慢強い人なのですよ。サトコが思ってるよりもずっと我慢強いのです。リカはすぐニーニーの肩を持ちますのね。リカはちょっと甘やかしすぎですのよ。 さとこはニーニーに厳しすぎるのです。帰ってきたらもっと優しくしてあげた方が良いのです。
Satsuko and Rika-chan's views regarding Nini, aka Satoshi, were parallel to each other. But I could easily tell that both of them really liked him. They were so optimistic too. Even though he had run away from them, it seemed like they were going to see him again next week. Satsuko and Rika-chan both liked Satoshi even now and waited for him, believing that he would surely return. I had never met him, but I know for sure that this Satoshi person was a really good guy. I had thought Satsuko would be deeply hurt by her brother running away, but she had already overcome that. She was still being the energetic little sister, always full of vim and vigor, as if to say that her brother would come back any time he liked. I thought that Satsuko didn't think through anything and just frolicked and played practical jokes every day, and that was about it. But she was really... yeah.
なんで私の頭を撫でますの？
I roughly rubbed a hand through Satsuko's hair.
俺、サトコのことを誤解してたよ。お前がこんなにしっかり者だなんて思わなかった。
Satsuko seemed to think I was making fun of her and tried to bat away my hand. But then she saw that there wasn't even a trace of malice on my face and obediently granted me her head.
うん。サトコはしっかり者。うんうん。
私は最初からしっかり者でしたよ。圭一さんに合わせて悪ふざけしてあげてたに過ぎませんわ。
There was her usual propagation, but I decided not to buy into it today.
そうだな。俺に合わせてふざけてただけなんだよな。でも本当はこんなにもしっかり者。偉い偉い。
本当に褒めてますの？なんだかバカにされてるような。
俺は全然バカにしてないぞ。真面目に褒めてる。バカにしてるときはリカちゃんも一緒に撫でるからな。
それもそうですわね。リカは人を小バカにするときよく頭を撫でますものね。ねえ、缶詰のイワシさんが美味しいのですよ。
Rika-chan went nipa, and her smile became even brighter. Her attitude was clear as day, but it was annoyingly cute, so both Satsuko and I suddenly burst into laughter. That laughter lightened up the table. The table itself was so dull and simple that I never even thought people would be laughing around this. And then, I finally came to realize something really obvious.
笑いながら食べる食事って美味しいよな。
もちろんなのですよ。笑いはご飯を美味しくするのです。失礼ですわね。ご飯が美味しいのは私のお料理が美味しいから決まってますわよ。
The hammer's moment in this happy circle, it was completely different than spending time with family, but somehow still nostalgic.
サトコはニーニーに会いたいか？
ニーニーなんて言ってませんですわ。兄とお呼びなさいですわ。
Hey, wait, you've been saying Nini this, Nini that the whole time. I grinned really and decided to just call him brother like she told me.
サトコは兄貴に会いたいか？
Rika-chan stopped eating and then looked back and forth between my face and Satsuko's. Satsuko was smiling. She looked like she was trying to choose her words here. Just from that, Satsuko conveyed her feelings. Honestly, she wished that he would come home right now. But she wasn't that weak. Satoshi should have just do what he wanted until he was satisfied. In return, she let him have the scolding of his lifetime. And then she'd have dinner with him, lay out his futon for him.
会いたいかと言われれば、もちろん会いたいに決まってますわね。もうすぐで1年になりますもの。
It's been that long already, huh? Rika-chan smiled thinly, her eyes appearing to look far away.
まあ、ニーニーの好きにすればいいのですわ。好 少しでも生活力を身につけてたくましくなって帰ってきてくれれば私の負担も軽くなるわけですし。
ほらまたニーニーって言った。
言いましたですね。
You said. Oh my god, I love them.
言ってませんわよ。ニーニーのことをニーニーなんて言いませんわよ。
You just did! Twice for that record! Things rapidly returned to the usual lively atmosphere of lunchtime at school, but nothing changed about Sachiko's feelings toward her brother. She was living so bravely and so strongly. Hey, Satoshi, your sister is trying so hard to watch the place while you're gone, isn't she? Give her a rest and come back soon, okay?
さとこ、そろそろお片付けをしないとお眠になる時間なのです。
It was when we were all watching TV while enjoying some tea after dinner. Rika-chan let out a big yawn and then spoke. Satoko and I, both seemed to look at the clock and notice how late it had gotten. No, perhaps we both realized it already. We just didn't want this warm moment to end. Maybe we didn't want to say anything.
いけませんわね。まだ食器を洗っていませんでしたわ。
いいよそんなの。それくらい俺がやっておくよ。飯をごちそうになって食器まで洗わせるわけにはいかないよ。
本当に大丈夫ですの？慣れない人が洗うとお皿とか洗剤で滑って落としちゃいますわよ。
Jeez, she turned into a perfect nagging little sister. It was charming, yet a bit awkward. Emotions like that were all mixed up inside me. I gave her a vague, dry smile.
圭一だってお皿くらい洗えますですよ。割ったお皿で怪我をしたら明日学校でかわいそしてあげますです。
What? That's basically your way of telling me you're gonna be making fun of me, right? Fair enough, though.
わー
Rika-chan yawned again, so wide you could see her molars.
本当に大丈夫ですの？圭一さんって見かけと違って随分と頼りない方でございますからね。
やれやれ。聡子の中の圭一株は大暴落みたいだな。安心しろ。皿くらいきっちりと洗ってみせるぞ。安心して帰れ。っていうかこんな時間じゃ聡子たちだけに帰らせられないよな。家まで送るよ。自転車の鍵を。
私たちを送った後一人で家に帰るのは圭一さんではありませんの。
That is true.
夜道に迷って高津戸あたりに迷い込んだら大変ですのよ。
Takatsudo? Oh, I thought that was the name of this chapter. Never mind.
あのあたりお家も明かりも全然ありませんから。
I was trying to worry about them going home, but I didn't think they'd be worried about me getting lost. Am I really that unreliable? I mean, she's really being critical, but yeah. This feeling I have, it's not that bad. So I ended up not needing to escort them. I saw off Satoko and Rika-chan to the gate.
今日は本当にありがとうな。おかげでとても文化的な夕飯にありつけたよ。
聡子が来なかったら今頃圭一はグーグーでニャーニャーだったのです。
Or have potentially died in a fire.
本当ですわね。本当来てよかったですわ。
They really saved me. I gave them another bow filled with gratitude.
そうそう。ご飯とおかずの残りをタッパーに詰めておきましたから明日はそれをお弁当になさいませ。あと明日の朝食は食パンとジャムがいいですわね。いちごジャムとピーナッツバターが冷蔵庫中段の右端にありましたわ。あと粉末ココアが食器棚の右上の戸の中に。
I know all that. You don't have to go into such detail. I was about to say that, but I decided to humbly listen to her. It was then that I finally realized that Satoko, who appeared to be in a bad mood, was in fact in a great one, just like Rika-chan had said. And that though she nagged a lot, she was very kind.
ではおやすみなさいなのですよ。寝る前にはちゃんと歯を磨くんですのよ。 5分以上かけてしっかりと磨きなさいませ。
分かったよさとこ。ちゃんと歯も磨くし、明日の朝飯も用意する。弁当も忘れないようにするよ。
いつもより早めに起きないと朝食やお弁当の支度ができませんわよ。なんなら少し早いくらいの時間に目覚まし代わりに電話して差し上げましょうか。
そこまでしてくれなくても大丈夫だよ。
Damn, I can't tell if Satsuko's in a mix of like taunting or like caring or all the above.
目覚まし時計を少し早めにセットしておくことにする。ありがとな。いろいろと気にしてくれて。
Satsuko looked like she had more fault finding to do, but she stopped and leaving me with a good night, got on her bike and disappeared down the nighttime road. Rika-chan went to do the same, but remembered something and came
どう
back.
したリカちゃん、忘れ物か？
今日の圭一は100点満点でした。パチパチパチなのです。
Points? Rika-chan suddenly complimented me? She clapped her small hands. Wait, what was she on about?
別に褒められるようなことはしてないだろう。危うく自宅を火事にするところだったし。
True.
さとこもきっとニーニーが帰ってきたような気がしてとても楽しかったと思いますです。たまにこれからもさとこのお小言に付き合ってあげてほしいのですよ。
さとこに小言を言われる頼りない兄貴。サトシの代わりになってやれっていうことか？
Rika-chan didn't say anything. She just smiled and went all nipa.
サトシってさ、こんなにもできた妹と一緒で何が不満だったんだ？俺がサトシだったら絶対に家出なんかしないぞ。
サトシにはサトシなりの事情があったのです。きっと。
I didn't know what he was unhappy with, but whatever the reason, it is no excuse for abandoning Satsuko.
早く帰ってくるといいな。俺じゃあ多分本物のニーニーの代役はいつまでも務まらないぜ。
大丈夫ですよ。今日の圭一はサトシそっくりだったのです。
Wait, you know, something about this just hits me different because in chapter 1, there were times where Reina and Mion were saying that I was acting like Satoshi. That, oh my god, just thinking about it, I just quelled back a bit. Thinking back to that, honestly, I know them saying that probably doesn't mean anything, but at the same time, I feel like it means so damn much. And honestly, that is a bit terrifying. I don't... God, Higurashi does things to me, I swear to God. Like, I'll just be losing my mind every 2 seconds or something. Something will come up into my mind, and I'm like, oh, son of a bitch, I'm thinking too much on this. I guess that's what happens, huh? I don't know. I guess it is what it is. Oh, I broke something. Oops, I broke a thing. Ah, whatever. I'll fix it never.
またお願いしますなのですよ。
If that's what would make Satsuko happy, I take on this easy role whenever I need it.
リカー
Satsuko stopped on her bike under a distant exterior light and called out for her friend, who wasn't coming no matter how long she waited.
では僕はもう行きますですよ。おやすみなさいな。
ああ、おやすみ。
僕ではサトシの代わりをできませんが、圭一ならできます。これで僕も心の荷が一つ下りましたのですよ。
Leaving me with that, Rika-chan sped off on her bike. She rode up next to Satsuko, and the two of them disappeared in the blink of an eye.
サトシ、本当に早く帰ってきてやれよな。あんまり帰りが遅かったら。
Punch you right in the nose. Let's try our best until that day comes, Satsuko. Even if I can no longer hear the sounds of their bicycles, I stood there for a while, seeing them off. God, I fucking love Higurashi. It just hits different in some cases. Satoko's Trap Course, Elementary. You're on fire! Thank you, Steam. Alright, let's view the tip.
俺が保証する。聡子ならこの山で籠城して一個下相手くらいなら十分にあしらえるに違いない。
Where did this come from?
私は知ってるよ。聡子はとある国の特殊部隊に招聘されてトラップの訓練教官をやってたんだ。
そんな変な話はいいから誰か助けて。
How did it come to this? What traps did we fall for? And how did we fall for them? Mion was caught in profusely thin pitfalls that she couldn't escape from. Only her head was poking above the ground. Reina's head was completely covered by a tin basket. She was squirming around in a vain attempt to remove it. Either of those were real funny, but that's where it ended. At least they had their feet on the ground.
ケイちゃんの方はどう？抜けられそう？早く抜け出しておじさんを助けてよ。
抜け出して助けるのはミオンの方だ。このスマッキ状態の俺に何をしろと言うんだ。
I was wrapped in a bamboo mat and hanging 2 meters above the ground. Ugh, what was this trap and how the hell did I fall into it? Huh? It was Satoko! This all started when they suggested that I was unfamiliar with nature, having grown up in the city, and proposed a little exploration into the mountain.
でもレナもよく裏山は知らないよ。レナじゃ迷子になっちゃう。
裏山ね。小さい頃はよく遊んだけど、ここ何年かはさっぱりだな。あそこ道を誤るとかなりデンジャラスに迷うんだよな。
裏山なら私たちにお任せですわよ。山が丸ごと私とリカの遊び場なんで
Your
すもの。
playground, metaphorically or literally?
ねえリカ。
Okay, when you say meep, I sense danger.
おう、それは心強いな。じゃあここは二人の顔を立てて二人の道案内でハイキングと行こうじゃねえか。
でもケイチくん、裏山は迷うから遊びに行っちゃいけないって夏休みのしおりにも書いてあるよ。
Come on, what's the worst that'll happen? Me existing in the woods? I mean, it's not like I've been chased down there before. I have been chased down there before, and honestly, I'm not a fan. A lot of things happen to me in this world.
まだ夏休みではありませんですから大丈夫なのですよ。
That's what they all
僕たちが道を知ってますからご安心なのです。
That's what they all say.
裏山は昔から私たちの遊び場でございますもの。岩も同然。抜け道、近道までバッチリでございましたよ。
Yes, both Satsuko and Rika-chan knew the path like the back of their hands. Thanks to them, we had our fill of fresh air, gorgeous views, and Mother Nature, the likes of which you could never see in the village. But things got very strange partway through.
そうそう皆さん。ここからは私が歩いた足跡の通りに歩くんですわよ。
は？突然何を言い出すんだ？
おとなしく聡子の言うことを聞く方が身のためなのです。あれれ？ねえみーちゃん、ほらこれなんだろうね。引っ張るのかな？
Don't pull it! Suddenly, squeak, crash! When Reina pulled the kite string, a bundle of bamboo spears fastened to a tree branch all came raining down and clattered next to where Reina was standing. no!
懐かしいのですよ。これは確か2年生の2学期にさとこが作ったトラップなのです。危なかったですわね。竹襟の先端には犬の糞が塗ってありますから、傷になると後で腐り出しますわよ。
ここはいつからゲリラの戦場になったんだ。
According to Satoko and Rika-chan, earlier in elementary school, Satoko had been on a trap-making craze and set them all along every inch of this mountain.
喜一くん、ひょっとして裏山が立ち入り禁止なのは迷うからじゃなくて危ないからじゃないのかな。
Honestly, Reina, I thought they decided to come with us because they wanted to trap us. Mion and I both nodded wholeheartedly at Reina's hypothesis.
先を急ぎますわよ。早く戻らないと暗くなってしまいますわ。暗くなったら私だって危ないでございますからね。
But you're the one who brought us to this crazy mountain! Why was an average healthy Japanese boy like me forced to deal with this life-threatening booby traps? And then, the very moment Satoko and Rika-chan had gotten just out of sight was when the three of us all got caught in nice little traps together.
誰か出して、私おトイレに行きたいの。そんなことより誰かこのバケツ取って、前が見えない。
おいレナ、あんまり暴れるな。パンツが見えるぞ。
Don't say that, Kay!
見たケイチコが見た。
Smash, crush, 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 crunch!
見えてるだろ絶対。バケツ買ってごほら。
Bucket Reina was using me like a sandbag, and Reina and Mion was crying.
落とし穴から抜けられなくてかわいそうなのです。もう皆さん、だから言いましたでしょ。私から離れたらいけませんでしたよって。
I finally had an epiphany. Satoko had been so bent on taking everyone out to the mountain because she wanted to brag about all the traps that she had set here over the years. You could have stopped just at showing them to us. I didn't need an experience of how it felt firsthand. Rika-chan pets all three of the heads in sequence in an incredibly satisfied mood. Wait, no Higurashi title card thing? That's weird. Alright, we're gonna save it onto the third file. I have to save it onto the third file. Why would I save it onto the first or second one? It just feels right this way. I don't know. It just feels better for me. I don't really know how to explain it. Alright, let's continue.
さて、
Okay, Keiichi, we should probably just go and get ready to tell Chie about how bad Curry is, because honestly, I don't think we're getting out of this situation, my guy.
というわけで、いよいよお昼の時間が来たね。
Mion gleefully announced the beginning of lunch.
いよいよお昼の時間でしたよ。この中の一人が罰ゲームになるんですわよね。
I'm happy about Satoshi hopefully coming back into Higurashi. He needs to go see Satoko again.
はあ、今日の罰ゲームはちょっと怖いからね。レナ、悪いけど思いっきり真剣に作ってきたよ。
In Reina's case, I don't think she'd lose even if she wasn't taking it seriously.
みー、僕たちもそれぞれに頑張りましたのですよ。
今日はさとこもリカちゃんもそれぞれに別々に作ってきた。 いつもは2人一緒のお弁当だけど、今日は一緒だと勝負にならないからね。
そこは大丈夫ですのよ。リカも私もちゃんとそれぞれに用意させていただきましたのよ。わあ、さとこちゃんもリカちゃんも頑張ったんだね。楽しみ楽しみ。
ちょっと意外だったのはケイちゃんがちゃんとお弁当を用意できた点かな。ケイちゃんもさすがやればできるみたいじゃない。
I scratched my head and gave her a dry smile. My bento today had been all entirely made by Satsuko last night. It had none of my personality, so there wasn't anything that they could praise me for.
ケイチくんのお弁当はどんなだろう。はう、楽しみ。
そんな大したものじゃないから期待するなよ。夕べのご飯のお惣菜の残りが詰めてあるだけだし。
お夕食の残り物はお弁当の基本なのですよ。夕べのケイチさんのお夕食も分かって一石二鳥ですわね。
Was it really better to hide the fact that Satsuko came over and made dinner last night? Well, of course it was. If I had revealed that I didn't make my own bento, I'd be sure to end up playing the punishment game. Today's punishment game was to stand right in front of the curry maniac herself and say bad things about curry. It wasn't too different from telling someone to jump out of a 100-story window. It was exactly the same as telling someone to die.
でもみーちゃん、今日のお弁当勝負ってどうやって勝敗をつけるのかな。
Oh yeah, we never really discussed that, didn't we?
ケイチくんもちゃんと作ってこれたんだから、今日はこれで引き分けで決着なんじゃないのかな。
What?
それもそうですわね。昨日の罰ゲームはケイチさんに自炊を促すための葉っぱみたいなものですし。
Wait, what?
ケイチもちゃんと作ってこれましたから引き分けなのですよ。
My simple bento with last night's leftovers could never stoop up to everyone else's bento that they made to win. I fully understood Satsuko and Rika-chan's concern for me as they tried to end the showdown peacefully. What the fuck? Was that supposed to be peacefully? But wait, peaceably? What? Oh, hold on. Is that a typo, or have I just never seen that? Hold on. Hang on. I'm obviously probably an idiot. Let's see. If you do something peacefully, then you do it quietly and peacefully without... Oh, okay. So I am just a dumbass and I can't read. Okay. I kind of figured that was the case, but I had to make sure because I was sitting back like, what the fuck is that word? My bad. I'm an idiot. However, the club president Mion Sonozaki would not be convinced by something like that.
何を甘っちょろいこと言ってるんだか。白黒つけない灰色勝負なんて絶対ごめん。ぶつかったら決着つけなきゃ。手打ちして引き分けなんて遊びでやってんじゃないんだよ。
言うと思ったぜ。
いやー、
勝負好きのミオンがこのまま終わらせるわけないよな。
This is bad. At this rate, I was sure to be the sole loser. But well, I didn't make the bento after all. Maybe I need to resign myself to my inevitable loss.
ではみー、どうやって勝敗を決めますですか？
相互採点じゃ公平な採点にならないからね。ここは公開審査と行こうじゃない。みんな全員集合。
Mion commanded everyone who had just started eating using her club president voice.
おじさんたち5人のお弁当を採点してもらうよ。ベスト3までを紙に書いて投票すること。いいかな？
Everyone in the class was used to being dragged into Mion's club activities. Yeah! Came the energetic voices from here and there. Everyone already knew that the showdown this time involved an utterly fatal punishment game. And they were all very interested in what would happen to whoever lost. Of course, they wanted the thrill of seeing something terrifying.
ではみんないいかな。まずは私から行くよ。そーれ。
In exaggerated fashion, Mion pulled the lid off of her multi-tiered, ornate bento box. I can't word. Multiple cheers erupted joy at the brilliant sight.
すごいですわね。おせち料理みたいでしたよ。
嘘だ、嘘に決まってる。こんなのどこかの仕出し弁当の中身を移し替えただけに違いない。こんな純日本風な料理をミヨンが園崎ミヨンが作れるわけがない。
みーちゃん、このくらいは本気になれば作れるよ。
Kind of figured as such.
めったに本気にならないけど。
おじさんを誰だと思ってるわけ？
Threat.
時間と材料があるなら満館全席だって再現してみせるよ。
The entire classroom gulped audibly, and everyone who wrote down a score on the note paper in their hands simultaneously. It made sense. Just the visual impact would give her a perfect score.
じゃあ次はレナのお弁当行ってみようか。レナもかなり料理は得意だからね。
レナのお弁当はいつも食卓の花なのですよ。みんなありがとね。じゃあレナのお弁当も公開するね。
Reina's bento was a beautiful mix of 2 colors of eggs and minced meat, and it too was a bento staple. As Saburo bento, she had been thorough with the side dishes as well, and they were abundant in number. She had spent more time than usual on it, but it was unassumingly and truly nonchalant. One couldn't ignore the household warmth that it had in it that Mion's bento lacked.
さすがですわね。これは高得点が期待できましたよ。
さすが。厳しめに見ても減点の余地は全くないね。相変わらず見事。
Once again, every one of the judges wrote the score on their paper at the same time. It seemed to be some who were revising their opinions when they compared it to Mion's score too. The whole classroom seemed split between Reina and Mion. At everyone's face, it was clear that all they wanted to be tasting them rather than scoring them.
では続いて僕たちなのです。では公開するでございますわよ。
Come to think of it, Satsuko and Rika-chan ate with me last night at my house. It was impressive that they still made a bento. Both their bentos were clearly lacking compared to Mion's artfulness and Reina's perfection. However, because of that, you could sense from them how hard they worked. The toppings were a little on the rough side, but you could still feel that they had tried their hardest. It made you feel a little biased so that you'd give them more points. Few people struck by this once again and revised their opinions and wrote their scores on their note paper.
さとこもリカちゃんもよく今日のお弁当を用意できたもんだな。レナやミオンの出来には確かに劣るかもしれないけど、それを考えるとかなりすごいことだぜ。
Satsuko and Rika-chan glanced at each other and grinned happily.
実は内緒でございますのよ。くにょくにょくにょくにょ。
What? When Satsuko told me, I broke off from the others and secretly looked in my classmates' bento boxes. There, Tomita-kun and Okanuma-kun's bento boxes. I took a quick peek inside and... Half of the contents were missing! Not bad. In the end, Satoko and Rika-chan hadn't made bento to them. A bold move. They got Tomata and Okamura-kun to share their bentos with them.
おい、富田君、岡村君、何を条件に買収された？
いきなり何ですか前原さん。
Oh, you know damn well why I'm asking.
私たちがいつ何を買収されたって言うんですか？
そうっすよ。別に聡子たちに水やり当番を代わってもらうくらいで弁当を半分なんか。
Curse you, Satoko. What an impudent trick. Satoko grinned, showing her fang-like, whatever, canines? I don't know, I can't read. And laughed in triumph.
あら、これはケイチさんに学ばせてもらった技ですのよ。あはははは。あははなのです。
How naive, buying them out with watering duty alone. They're men. If you want to buy them out, you need to use something a lot more spicier than that. For example, like giving them 3 tickets to walk Satoko and Rika-chan around like dogs all day, with them all on fours, wearing tails and leashes around their necks. Oh my god. God, fucking you sick, twisted bastard. Whoa, that might be enough to get me to do anything. As I was lost in my wild fantasies, Mion clapped me on the shoulder and called me back to reality. Damn, it was just getting good.
さて、次はいよいよケイちゃんのお弁当だね。
Uh-oh. The anticipation.
ケイちゃんの昨日の予告だとかなりのものが期待されるけど、実際はどうなのかな？
ケイチくんってやるときにはやる人だからね。レナ、今日はとっても楽しみにしてたんだよ。
They're all looking forward to it, but it's really just leftovers from dinner last night. I didn't even make it either. How was I supposed to stand up to Mion and Reina and the others?
もう焼けだ！見て驚くなよ！
I tore the lid off my bento box. There weren't many cheers. Well, I guess there wouldn't be.
ケイチくんも精一杯頑張ったんだね。レナはその頑張りわかるよ。
レナ、無理に褒めなくていいぞ。
どんな具合ですの？ケイチさんにしては頑張ってる方ですの？
まあ頑張りは認めてあげたいけどね。勝負は非情だしね。
I don't like your laugh. It still gives me a bit of shivers. Mion's cold, mean laugh. It was like it spoke to everyone's opinion just like that.
ケイチくん、初挑戦なのにこんなに上手に作れたんだよ。みんなもっともっと評価してあげてもいいと思うんだけどな。でも勝負は非情なのです。
さーてケイちゃん、採点結果を集計する前に何か申し開きがあるなら聞いておくけど。
申し開きってなんだよ。
ケイちゃんがここで何かを訴えることでわずかな得点加算が望めるかもしれないってこと。
I mean, I may have been able to do that in the curry contest, but I'm sure that was all mainly just based off luck. I heavily doubt something like that'll work again, especially in a situation like this where it really doesn't matter.
何しろ今日の勝負はビリでさえなければいいんだから。うまくすればなんとか罰ゲームから逃れることができるかもよ。
それって暗にケイチさんのお弁当がビリって言ってるのと同じことでしたよ。
別におじさん、誰の弁当がビリなんて言ったつもりはないんだけどな。
Mion cackled repulsively. In contrast, the Satoko's smile was growing somehow awkward. Oh, right. This bento was filled with last night's side dishes. That means it was basically a bento that Satoko made. And Mion outright said that it would come in last place.
みーちゃん、ちょっと意地悪だよ。圭一くんがかわいそう。
レーナケイちゃんも今日の弁当勝負は負けられないってあらかじめ知ってたんだよ。それを承知で昨日あれだけのお見栄を切ったんだからさ、甘やかす必要なんて全然ないと思うけどな。ねえ、さとこ。
ええ、そうですわね。それでこのざまなんですから笑っちゃいましたよ。ちょっとさとこちゃん、笑うなんていけないんだよ。だってちゃんちゃらおかしくて笑ってしまうようなお弁当
You're
でしたよ。
practically insulting your own work.
こんなお惣菜屋さんで買ってきたようなおかず、本当に幻滅もいいところでしたよ。
ほら、これなんか缶詰を開けただけだよね。こっちのキュウリは包丁が通ってなくて綺麗に切れてないし。ケイちゃん、包丁とか全然扱ったことないでしょ。経験不足が明らかなんだよね。
経験不足もいいところでございましたよ。
彩りもかなり単調。こればかりはセンスのなさに呆れるね。
そりゃ弁当箱に食い物を詰めるなんて初めての経験だし、多少見栄えが悪いのは仕方が。
ケイちゃん、弁当箱への詰め方以前のレベルなの。富田、岡村、解説。
What? They were chosen from many of our underclassmen? Tomita-kun quickly adjusted his glasses and stepped forward.
前原さんのお弁当に致命的な欠点、それは彩りなんです。ご存知の通り、あらゆる色彩の根底には三原色と呼ばれる配色が存在します。つまりバランスよく配色を求めるなら、白、黒を除いても3色は必要なのです。しかるに前原さんのお弁当は白黒を除いた場合、暗緑色しか残らないんですよ。
Ah, dark green. No one will want to eat it if you describe it like that. I had forgotten. Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun had been brought out by Rika-chan and Satoko, so were they trying their hardest to let them win to make me lose? Ugh, what strong wills they have. It was charming, if only because they were working so hard despite having been brought out.
おかずも心のこもらないお惣菜や缶詰ばかり。つまり前原さんのお弁当にはお弁当の三大要素、愛、心、味のうち2つも欠けていると断言できるのです。
The classroom convinced by the anyway, so they raised out mysterious groans of admiration.
愛もなければ心もない。決まったね、前原圭一。
ちょっと冷たいけど、でもこれを機に圭一くんもお料理の楽しさに気づいてくれればいいのかな。そんなことより罰ゲームが僕以外なら何でもいいのですよ。
Reina was giving a dry smile as well.
決まりましたわね、圭一さん。罰ゲームは圭一さんで決まりですのよ。
She laughed in such a vile manner, but she didn't look like she meant it. I knew that Satoko was speaking ill of the bento that she practically made herself in front of the whole classroom. I could tell how painful that laughter was. Okamura-kun said before that this bento lacked spirit. But among all the bento laid out here today, there wasn't a single one with as much spirit as this one. This meal that was made for me yesterday, in such a good mood, though it looked like she had a bad one, I won't let it end with this slander.
さてピリのケイチさん、そろそろおとなしく負けを認めなさいませ。
ちょっと待ってもらおうか。
When I began to speak in a loud voice, the expressions of all the members' clubs changed. Mion clicked her tongue. This man was baring his fangs at the last moment again.
俺の弁当の敗因は心、そういう解説だったな。間違いないな、岡村君。
Okamura-kun, who had been suddenly placed onto the spotlight, looked flustered for a moment, but immediately he stammered in a reply that I was right.
心の定義は何だ？苦労か？努力か？汗か涙か？
I like this art. Why is Rika sitting back there like that, though?
その結晶か？ならば俺の手に残るこの火傷は何の評価になるんだ？
ケイチ君、それ油が跳ねたやけど？
Great. The burn marks from when I almost caused that fire yesterday looked just like I was having a ton of trouble cooking. I could clearly tell the classroom was forced to acknowledge the effort I put into it.
ほう、自らの料理の下手さによる失敗をさも努力の痕跡であるかのように見せるとは、やはりこの男油断ならない。
そうだ、俺は下手だ。昨日大見えを切ったのが情けなくなるくらいに料理が下手だ。戦った、そしてこの成果を出した。それは心じゃないのか？どうなんだ？
レナは認めてあげたいな。挑戦する心が評価されなかったら誰も前に進めない。
There you go. The girls in the classroom started to nod in agreement. Okay, the tables are turning. But Tomatsu-kun and Okamura-kun, bought out by the objects of their affection, weren't about to lose either. They shifted to the counterattack, clearly exceeding the price they were paid.
なるほど、前原さんの気持ちはわかります。ですがね、心だけで料理が決まるんだったらこの世にコックはいらないんですよ。
そうっすよ。心を込めて頑張りましたって言ってコックが消し炭みたいなハンバーグを持ってきたら払わないですよね。つまりそういうことなんです。
That's right, that's how it goes. The male students took Tomata and Okamura-kun's side. Do have a point.
でも心尽くしなんだぞ。たとえ真っ黒のハンバーグが出てきたにせよ、それを作ってくれた母の苦労を知るなら俺は食う。完食してみせる。
Clap, clap, clap. At this time, the female students in the class took my side. Good. Now we're even.
そもそもお弁当というのは愛情を食事の形として昇華させたもので、
それは相手に伝わって初めて意味があるんです。前原さんのお弁当からはそれが伝わりますか？いいえ、僕には伝わりません。
ひどい。
The girls in the class began to boo loudly at his remark. Now even Okamura-san was panicking.
静粛に静粛に。傍観人は発言を慎むように。
裁判長、俺はここでこの弁当にどれだけの心が込められているかについて料理学の権威竜宮レナ氏の証言を求めます。
レナはこのお弁当には心がこもってると思うな。確かに稚拙なところは多いかもしれないけど、でもお料理は上辺だけじゃないと思うの。
The girls in the class gave cries of support as they all applauded. In response, all these men in the class began to boo.
裁判長、前 前原さんと竜宮さんの意見は極めて感情的で一般常識としてかけ離れています。採用するには不適切です。
静粛に静粛に。検察側の反証を認めます。どうぞ。
例えば本件をお弁当ではなく誕生日のプレゼントだと置き換えて考えてみます。例えば誕生日の日に私富田が手編みのセーターをもらったとする。
Oh, okay. Well, that sounds rather nice.
そして彼岡村は図書券を1万円分もらったとする。
Okay. That felt strangely real. Was it actually just an example?
常識的に考えてどちらに心がこもっているかは明白です。
No, that just shows which one of them had money.
つまり手編みのセーター、
Never mind.
これはお弁当に言い換えれば手作りのおかずが相当する。そして単なる金券に過ぎない図書券はお金で買うもの、すなわち無味簡素な缶詰に相当する。
Murmur. The boys and the girls all began to argue amongst themselves about presents. They were all talking about what they received as presents in the past. Damn! Tomita-kun, he changed the subject to something that could easily grab everyone's attention. Gotta say, not half bad. I'll lose the initiative at this rate.
異議あり。本件はお弁当の心について問うものです。誕生日のプレゼントという特殊な状況とは全く異なります。
却下します。検察側続けなさい。
Damn!
さてここで大事なのは送り手の心と受け手の心は全く違うという点です。皆さんの目の前に実際に手作りのちょっと左右の丈の崩れてるセーターと1万円分の図書券が置かれていて、どっちがいいと聞かれたらどっちを取ります？
Shut the fuck up for a second. You should be grateful you got a gift at all, fucker.
図書券でしょ。
You're a dick.
1万円ですよ。1万円。コミックスが何冊買えるか計算できますか？十数巻程度の単行本なら即座にフルコンプ可能です。愉快で面白おかしい漫画が何十冊。
What kind of lolly porn do you look up, you fucking weirdo?
これによって癒される心の至福とセーターでは比べ物にならないのです。
Calm down, cocksucker. The boys unanimously praised that with applause. Materialistic brats. But all the guys at the age are like that. Even I would choose a gift certificate over a sweater in any case. Hey, wait. Weren't you guys the ones who said it was all about love, spirit, and taste right at the start? Since when did taste trump it all? That's the stance they were taking now.
以上より送り手の心と受け手の心には何の因果関係もないことが立証されたと思います。つまり前原さんがどれだけ苦労してお弁当を作ろうとも、それは私たち受け手が採点に手心を加えるものにはなり得ないのです。
それは詭弁だぞ富田君。心は確かにある。それが伝わるかどうかは受け手の問題だ。
そうよ
味が全てだ。
女の敵。
なんだと
And now the courtroom is chaos. But I can't allow myself to lose. Not only to avoid the punishment game, but also to protect Satoko's honor.
さて弁護側は今のに何か反論はある？
Slowly but strongly, I nod. I step up to the... Yeah. Tomita-kun, and Okamura-kun. You two think you could beat me with mere words?
今検察側は送り手の心とは無関係に評価が行われると言いました。それに間違いはありませんね。
At some point, I began speaking formally.
そうです。前原さんがどんなに苦労して作ったお弁当でもその苦労は評価の対象にはなり得ない。
では検察側に尋ねます。私前原が今日の自分の弁当としてこのお弁当とコンビニ弁当を並べたらその評価はどちらも同じものなのですか？
The prosecution hesitated to speak. Got you.
そう、手作りの弁当とコンビニ弁当では全く比較にならないのです。どんなにひどい手作り弁当であってもただ買ってきただけのコンビニ弁当とではそしてそれは評価されている。つまり手作りによる心はちゃんと受け手に伝わってるのです。それを認めよ
う。 Boom! With those impactful words drawn in the air behind me, pointing my finger, the girls, led by Irina, broke into applause. Some of the boys were even admitting it too.
認めます。
認めましたね。認めましたね。では次にコンビニ弁当にはなぜ心がないかについて移りましょう。そもそも弁当で伝える心とは何なのか。
意義あり。前原さんは抽象表現で法廷を煙に巻こうとしています。
It's called learn better words, Dick. I mean, I guess that's kind of hypocritical on my part still.
却下します。面白そうだから最後まで聞くように。
Got them. Now, I'll show you two the difference between us.
裁判長、ここでフルで理科賞証人として喚問したいと思います。
みー
Even for Rika-chan, that must have seemed like a bolt from the blue. There is no doubt that she never dreamed of the point that my spear would be aiming at her. But Rika-chan, you said it before. This is a showdown. It does not matter.
フルで理科さん、あなたの今日のお弁当は美味しそうです。
みえ
Yes, Satoko and Rika-chan's bentos had been made half of Tomata-kun and Okamura-kun's. The prosecutor's faces turned pale, but they were too late.
レナ、岡村君の弁当箱を持ってきてくれないか。
うん、いいよ。
裁判長、本件に僕のお弁当は何の関係もありません。
Oh, you want to make a bet?
却下します。
Thanks, Mion.
裁判長、この岡村君の弁当箱を証拠品として提出します。見よ、この中身を。
ん半分しか入っていないね。
半分かどうかじゃないでしょう。もっとよく見てください。ほら、
全く同じ内容だ。
裁判長、見ての通りです。フルで理科士のお弁当は岡村君の盗品。そんなものに心がこもってるわけがない。
いや、これは単なる偶然で。
Keiichi, you do realize we technically, well not technically, also kind of partially did the same. We're fucked.
もう明白でしょう。心とは送り手と受け手のキャッチボールならば、弁当箱はボールに当たるのです。そして本来このお弁当は岡村君の母親から息子に託されたものだから、この弁当箱に詰まった心はそれを割り込んで奪ったらもうそれに心はないのです。
Dun dun dun. Yeah, that did it.
あれ、そうなの？リカちゃん、そうなの？みぱ
なるほどね。
Mion, the judge, folded her arms and began to hum. I couldn't even take a guess as to what Mion was laughing about. Frankly, I didn't know whether I would win or lose.
よし、判決の前に主文からにしようかね。
The entire classroom quieted.
まず、被告前原圭一の弁当が客観的評価として非常に出来の悪いものであるのは間違いない。それはこうしてみんなの採点の集計結果が物語ってるからね。でもケイちゃんの言う通り、料理は味だけじゃない。心もまた隠し味として認められるべきだよね。でもそれは得点評価で言えば小数点以下。本当に微細なもので、その出来具合の評価を改めるには至らない。さて、ここでそもそもの今日の弁当勝負の原点を探りたい。そもそも今日の勝負は何が大前提なのか。そう、被告前原圭一が自炊できるか否かが問題になり、その成果を測るために催されたものだった。
うん、そうだよ。圭一くんはちゃんと作ってきたよ。
That stung my conscience a bit, but for the showdown it didn't matter.
ならばこの勝負の大前提は自炊、すなわち手作りであるか否かだよね。でもリカちゃんはそれを怠ったとなると、それは出来以前の問題、すなわち失格ってことになるのかな。
You know, now that I think about it, we did not call out Satoko for doing the same.
ニパー。
Rika-chan let out a nipa, looking as though she prepared herself for this outcome.
悪く思うなよ、リカちゃん。部活は非常なのだ。
さすが圭一なのです。最後の最後まで頑張りましたですよ。
Rika-chan demanded I lower my head that she petted. She's making fun of me.
というわけでこれにて一件落着。今日のビリはフルでリカ。
That miraculous turnaround. And last place went to Rika-chan, and everyone had least expected. The whole classroom went wild.
よくもこんなひどいお弁当でビリを免れましたのね。
Satsuko looked at me hatefully, but spoke in a vague kind of voice.
ビリになんかなるわけないだろ。この弁当のどこにビリになる要素があるってんだ。
だってこんな出来の悪いお惣菜や缶詰ばかりでセンスもなくて、それから
Grab! Satsuko was speaking more and more poorly of herself as time went on, so I roughly grabbed her head and began to
言
stroke.
ったろ、心が大事だって。この弁当は上辺だけじゃない。いろんな味に溢れてるんだぜ。
でも心だけじゃありませんのよ。お味なんて全然変で。
どこが変なんだ。俺はうまい。うまかった。だから詰めてきた。本当に夕べの飯がまずかったら詰めてなんか来ないぞ。食パンと牛乳パックを持って登校してくる。
でも
Oh, just shut up already. I pressed her head, swinging it side to side. At some point, Reina had come up behind us. She was giggling to herself. That was the face of someone who had known everything from the
い
beginning.
つ頃から俺が作ったんじゃないって気づいてた。
圭一くんがやけどを見せてくれた時かな。だって圭一くんのお弁当に油で炒めるおかずなんか入ってないし。レナさんは何か誤解してるではございませんの？私は別に何も。あれ？このお弁当、さとこちゃんが作ったんじゃないんだ。じゃあやっぱり圭一くんの手作りなのかな。うん。じゃあ圭一くんの手作り
And
な
I
のね。
guess he did. Reina smiled roguishly and turned from Satoko to me.
キュウリとかを切るときは包丁をほらこんな感じで引くの。彩りなんかはね、お野菜を上手に加えるといろいろ表現ができるんだよ。
This lecture was clearly not meant for me.
でも前に見せてもらった時よりもずっと上達してたよ。ちゃんとお勉強してるんだね。きっとこの調子ならもっともっと上手にお料理が作れるようになるよ。
Look at that. She continued saying words clearly meant for Satoko while facing me instead. God, I pretty much partially feel bad for Satoko. I mean, obviously these compliments are mainly meant for her. They are more well-deserving for her. And yet, well, yeah, no. Satoko wasn't wearing an ambiguous look and couldn't even nod her head at her.
とにかく誰が何と言おうと俺は今日の弁当を気に入ってるんだ。今日ばかりは誰にも分けないからな。俺が一人で全部食う。
あ、ケチなん
How
だ。
greedy!
レナも食べてみたいな、みたいな。
As we were going back and forth, Satoko rubbed her eyes as though she was drowsy, then announced to Mion and everyone else.
私も実は富田さんにお弁当を分けてもらいましたの。
え
バカ北条、なんで言っちゃうんだよ。
If she kept it a secret, then at least she would have been saved. Tomita-kun looked at her with an expression filled with regret and surprise.
そうだったの？本当？ありゃ。
Mion spun her finger around, then pointed to the hallway, sensing Satoko to the punishment game as well. Satoko left the classroom behind her, completely prepared, as though she was going with Rika-chan on an errand.
理科だけに行かせられませんわ。地獄の底までお付き合いしましてよ。
Damn!
そんなとこまでついてこなくていいのですよ。まったく圭一さんも嫌味ですわね。理科だけを晒し者にするなんて本当に意地悪な人でございますこと。
I didn't mean... I couldn't just return Satoko's kindness with malice.
ね、本当にさとこはおバカさんなのですよ。
Rika-chan spoke so that only I could hear, grinning happily.
ではそろそろ行きましてよ、理科。罰ゲームも部活メンバーの務めでございますわ。
Satoko seemed awfully happy, not frustrated in the slightest, like she always was in the loss. Or like always when she was lost. What the fuck? Damn! Rika-chan's right after all. Everyone here is a moron!
ミオ、俺も白状するぞ。今日の弁当は俺が作ったんじゃない。俺も同じだ。だから行ってくるぞ。罰ゲーム。
ケイちゃんまで？どうなってんの？
頑張ってね。罰ゲーム。救急箱を用意して待ってるからね。
Look at the first aid
あ
right?
らかじめ救急車の手配を頼む。場合によっては霊柩車だな。
Leaving the bewildered Mion and happily smiling Reina behind the classroom, I went to the hallway.
何やってるんですの？せっかく買ってたのに。わざわざ罰ゲームに名乗りを上げるなんて物好きにも程があるでございましたよ。
そうだな。物好きにも程があるぜ。
まったく今日の罰ゲームを甘く見すぎですのよ。私たちならともかく圭一さんじゃ大変なことになってしまうかもしれませんわね。肋骨の1本や2本の覚悟は終わりでしょうね。
肋骨は痛そうだな。俺痛いのはダメなんだ。
Could be worse.
圭一さんはおとなしく私の相槌を打っているんですのよ。私と理科でうまくやりますから。まったく罰ゲームの面倒まで私が見なくちゃダメなんて。まったく
She really is like a more responsible little sister. I already knew that her pouty behavior was a sign that she was actually in a really good mood. So it made me want to smile.
なあ、俺さ、野菜炒めが食いたいんだけど、さとこ作れるか？
まあ頑 頑張ればできないことはありませんわよ。上手に作れますですよ。さとこの野菜炒めは大好きなのです。
She was uneasy at first, but once she got assurance from Rika-chan, she turned back to and looked at me with once more confident eyes.
じゃあ決まりだな。今日学校が終わったらいろいろ買い物に行こうぜ。俺じゃあ何を買えばいいのか全然わかんないし。
それもそうですわね。圭一さんじゃスーパーでお買い物なんてまだまだ早いでしょうし、私が見てなければ不安ですからね。そのさとこも僕が見てないと間違えたお買い物をしちゃうんじゃないかと不安なのです。リカみー。
The conversation continued as we walked until we arrived at the door of the teacher's lounge. Uh-oh.
さて、罰ゲームなんかちゃっちゃと済ませて今晩の献立の話でもしようぜ。
Rika-chan gleefully grabbed onto my arm. In turn, I pulled Satoko to me, grabbing her shoulder with my other hand.
死ぬときゃみんな一緒だぜ。誰も一人でなんか死なせない。
みんなで一緒です。誰も一人でなんか死なせないのです。不謹慎な話ですわね。私はそんな物騒なのごめんですわよ。
Man, you really should have said that in chapter 2. She may have sounded annoyed, but she was so happy that it was gonna make me blush.
よし、この扉一枚向こうはみんなで戻るぞ。みんなでだ。
みんなでですわよ。では行きますわよ。
Uh-oh, okay, alright, here we go! The moment of truth, the moment we've all been waiting for, and most importantly, the moment of their timely demise. They're gonna die. We open the doorway and the world to the world of death. And like she did every day, just as the sun rose in the eastern sky, Chie-sensei was eating curry for lunch. It was store-bought, but she made a point of eating a different brand every day.
あら、前原くんに古出さんに北条さん、どうかしましたか？
She appeared to be in the middle of the moment of supreme bliss, her mouth full of her beloved curry. And we were about to pick a fight with her. What a crime this punishment game has to be. However, it was what we had to do. For that was the rule of our club. The three of us held each other's shoulders tightly once more.
じゃあ行くぜ。いいか。
いいかじゃありませんわ。圭一さんはおとなしくしてるんですのよ。すべて私と理科でやりますから、私に今だけ命をお預け遊ばせ。ファイト、おーですよ。
Uh-oh.
あなたたち？ん？
We could see 2 or 3 question marks popping up above the teacher's head. Alright, Satoko. This is the only time I'll trust you in my life. Because I'll be shutting my eyes tightly and only thinking about what we'll be having for dinner. I'm leaving it to you. Satoko inhaled deeply, and so...
やーい。カレー独身貴族、ニンニク臭いぞ。
Oh, Satoko. 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 You're so fucked. What happened to Keishi? Is he okay? What happened to Satoko and Rika? Are they okay? Huh? In the end, my selfish request was readily granted. As Satoko muttered complaints under her breath, quite merrily, she came with me to the store. Rika-chan didn't come with us, though. She said she had a thing she wanted to do or something like that. I believed her when she told me, but when I really thought about it, I started to think that maybe she was being considerate towards Satoko in her own way. Without Rika-chan here, Satoko was prouder and more... yeah.
いいですこと？スーパーというものにはタイムサービスというものがあるんですのよ。例えば野菜炒めに欠かせない豚肉ももう少し待つと半額にまで下がるんですの。お肉やお魚は鮮度が下がったら売れませんからね。お店も売れ残さないように土壇場では安くしてくれるってわけなんですのよ。もちろん百戦錬磨の主婦の皆様もそれを熟知していて、こうしてサービスタイムが近づいてくると。
And I wasn't really listening to her, but she was telling me all this quite proudly. Every time I seemed surprised at something, or made an affirmative grunt in place of conversation, Satoko would say, "You don't know anything, do you, Keiichi-san?" And smile very happily in spite of her complaints. She led me by the hand of all sorts of stalls. Styles? How the fuck did I? One after another. She was in such a supreme mood that just being with her cheered me up. Merely being pulled into Satsuko's pace was a lot of fun.
おい、どうせならこっちのお得用パックにしようぜ。お、こっちのチーズ入りにもかなり惹かれるものが。
圭一さんは経済観念が欠落しすぎですわ。ご覧なさいませ。予算オーバー。お金が足りないのですわよ。
Satsuko pushed a handful of receipts in my face. Why can't Satsuko do these kinds of mental calculations when she's at school?
そう、ノーマルは腹いっぱいたくさん買うか、ワンランク上のチーズ入りをつつましく買うか、これはかなり悩む。
おとなしく量を取りなさいませ。年頃の男の方は質より量を取った方が賢明でしたよ。
チェ、サトコは厳しすぎだよ。質も量も両方取りたい、この男心がなぜわからん。
Oh my god, Keiichi, my boy.
男心でお財布は膨らみませんのよ。
His wallet won't be any bigger.
まったく。未練がましくガラスに貼り付かないんですの。
After enjoying ourselves with such an exchange, we started to hear energetic voices coming from over the by the butcher we visited earlier. I could see a handful of housewives flooding the place.
いけませんわ。早く行かないと半額豚肉がなくなってしまいますわ。
あいてててててて、引っ張るな、襟首を引っ張るな。
Satsuko really seemed like she was having fun. She looked like a kid who had grabbed her family's hands while running towards an amusement park attraction. In the end, the bag of pork we obtained was so normal that it almost hurt, but I knew that it would taste absolutely delicious. Outside at some point, the cicadas had been replaced by the Higarashi's chorus. The air was so clear that it felt so good. Our silhouettes stretching out on the ground made it really wonderful, made for a really wonderful picture. We had fill our bicycle baskets to the brim with our shopping bags. They only contained ingredients and various other foodstuffs. Even so, every last thing packed in them. Oh my god, what the fuck? I'm stuttering so much. In them sort of looked really happy and made me feel really happy in turn.
夕食の買い物ってのもおつなものだな。晩飯が楽しみになるっていうか、待ち遠しくなるっていうか。
それもまた自炊の楽しみでしたよ。お買い物のうちからもう夕食は始まっているんですもの。
野菜炒め楽しみだな。うちのお袋のメニューにはさ、野菜炒めってないんだよ。だから中華屋で外食する時くらいにしか食べられないんで、今日は本当に楽しみなんだよ。
それはお気の毒でございますこと。では今日は特別に美味しいのをご披露して差し上げましたよ。
Normally, right about now, it was time where I would start messing with her. But I didn't.
サトコならきっとうまい野菜炒めを作ってくれる。すごく楽しみだよ。
She stammered for a second. Satoko had been prepared for me to start making fun of her right then, too. And when it didn't come, she was rather surprised. Or maybe she stammered for some other reason. I don't really know. But I immediately knew that she wasn't feeling, anything bad.
ええ、とびきり美味しいのをごちそうしましたよ。楽しみにして遊ばせ。
As Satoko and I rode back on our bikes, I had a thought. Was I this sort of person? Until now, I would have lashed back at Satoko right away if she did anything to me. Yeah, that was the kind of relationship that we had. We would poke at each other for a little while, and then kick up a storm while nitpicking at one another. At some point that changed. We weren't playing our usual tit-for-tat. I didn't provoke her, so we didn't fight. That went for Satoko too. Satoko, who I thought I knew, hadn't been like this up until now. Our relationship was changing little by little. That's what it felt like. But it wasn't something I had to worry about. It was like our relationship had been a little more happier, and a little bit more charming. I wonder why we changed like this. She was lonely and protecting her older brother Satoshi, who hadn't returned home onto me. Rika-chan told me about that yesterday. That's probably exactly it. So, as my actions drew closer to Satoshi's, Satoko was returning how she had been when she was living happily with her brother. In other words, this Satoko was the real Satoko. Satoko had been able to see her brother again, and she finally gone back to normal. And now that I had been playing the role of her brother, I discovered that she really could smile so sweetly. But I wasn't Satoshi Hoju. I was Keiichi Maibara, a totally different person. I couldn't become her brother. I could come close, but I could never really get there. I was vaguely somehow a little sad. I was wearing Satoshi's mantle, and that would have to come off one day. And that would doubtlessly put an end to this meager, nostalgic, peaceful time of Satoko's. Unlimited tranquility. A tranquility that would end one day. Putting it in those terms was really sad. I shook my head firmly and drove off those pointless thoughts.
どうしましたの、ケイチさん。
ごめん、なんでもないよ。
なんでもないならそんな変なことしないでくださいませね。何か悪いものでも食べたんじゃないかと不安になってしまいますわ。
Well, I see. Understandably so.
Hey, hey, ごめんよ、サトコ。
Nagging like always, but she still seemed really happy. That mood of hers drew me in, putting a smile on my own face. Hey, Keiichi Maibara, why don't we quit thinking about this having to end one day? If it will, then just think about it when that happens. There was one thing, however, that I could say for sure. As long as I smiled like this, Satoko's own smile would never wane. So long as I stay this way, this tranquility would never end. Satoshi would come back one day too. That might happen a lot further away than I'd like, but until that day, what's wrong with me being a replacement for him? Saying that I'm not her real brother, so I can't become Satoshi, that would just be an excuse. If I just didn't run away, Satoko would be happy and live a fun life of annoyed and nitpicking. I don't know what happened to Satoshi, or what made him abandon Satoko and run away. But seeing Satoko in such a good mood made me think that I could persevere, whatever, as long as I needed to. So this is what I thought. I wouldn't become Satoshi. I would become a replacement brother.
そうそう、俺はこういう野菜炒めを期待してたんだよ。うまい、実にうまい。この塩コショウ味のお汁がいいんだよな。実にご飯が進む。
ほらほらゲイチさん、こぼしてますわよ。そんなに焦って食べなくてもご飯は逃げませんのよ。
いや逃げるぞ。
It will
出
run
来た
away.
てほやほやの最高の味はできた瞬間からどんどん逃げていくんだ。サトコが100美味しく作ったものなら俺はその100を丸々味わう義務がある。それがクーガーのマナーってもんだ。
それはお気持ちだけで十分ですわ。
Your feelings are more than enough.
ですからもっと落ち着いてご飯をお食べなさいませ。
そうだな、悪い悪い。
No insults here. I meekly scratched my head, then put down my chopsticks and laughed along with her like it was funny. I ended up doing most of the eating. Satoko was barely taking a bite. She seemed satisfied just by watching me enjoy the food so much. Whenever I filled my mouth with more of her delicious meal, Satoko looked glad. That let me enjoy the food even more. In this way, she kept smiling happily the whole time. Looking at her made me really happy as well. The time had passed softly and gently. Before, I would have gone back and forth hurling insults with Satoko. In other words, we would have gotten into a fight right away. I'd never known how much... I've never known that I could feel such peace of mind by talking with her so honestly like this. I was a little bit happy about having discovered this new side of Satoko. For example, I was eating food that Satoko had made. There wasn't an inch of me that thought it was suspicious. Before, however, Satoko would have definitely put some sort of trap into this.
がっつきすぎた。ちょっとトイレに行ってくるぞ。
ちょっとゲイチさん、お食事の最中におトイレに行くのはマナー違反ですわよ。
じゃあなんて言えばいいんだ？接近か？川屋か？お便所か？
Satsuko looked down, her face bright red and pointed down the hallway as if to just say, just go already. Whoops, my bad habits seem to have come back. But, yeah, this wasn't all that bad either. No weird schemes, everything just seemed natural. And while having such an utterly unguarded thoughts, I went to the bathroom. My foot got caught onto something string-like. Huh? What?
Yakan? Tarai? Satoko!
She got me. I can't believe her. She always does this when I let my guard down. I can't relax for a minute around her. Still, it was kind of funny, so I didn't really feel like getting angry. Satsuko laughing uproariously came over.
ほらね、ほらね。そろそろ引っかかってくれる頃だと思いましたわ。
まったくこいつはちょっと気を許すとこれだもんな。
I picked up the wash tub that had crashed onto my head and went to go hit Satsuko with it. But then I doubled over with the laughter that was been welling up inside me, so I couldn't manage it. I wish things could go on forever like this. It's not like I was having the most fun since coming to Hinamizawa or anything, but it was probably the first time that I had spent my days so simply and comfortably. It really wasn't worth much. It was just a few hours after all. As an only child, it was my first taste of having a sibling. Just washing dishes with her felt really nice. Side by side, we washed, with the experienced Satsuko doing most of the work as I threw in appropriate words to add to the conversation. The scene was so commonplace, yet so mild and warm at the same time. Maybe I had just felt this kind of worth before too in the past. I think I've stood next to the sink with my mother like this when I was little. It made me feel nostalgic when I remembered it. It was the same sort of slow, easy time. It was tranquil. Such a quiet tranquility that the fact that I wasn't uneasy about anything itself almost made me uneasy. Hey, wait, Keiichi, my bruh. You feel uneasy about something just from spending time so leisurely? There's nothing about that to feel uneasy about. I mean, why would I be punished for enjoying a gentle life? I'd do anything to keep these days going. I would never do anything bad, no matter what. I'll work hard for it and endure so much for it. So God, it's not so much as a dream of wanting to fuck the fucking phone!
あら、あれは電話の音ではありません。こんな夜更けに誰でございましょう。
え、あ、本当だ。
I hadn't noticed until she mentioned it. I hurried to stand up and then ran for the phone. But who could it be at a time like this? I did feel a little like the phone had interrupted my happy moment, but I still wanted to brag about how happy the time I was spending made me, no matter who it was on the other
もしも
side.
し、はい、前原です。
もしもし、ケイチ？
Oh,
お母さんだけど。
なんだ、母さんか。何？こんな時間に。
that was a little cold of me when she was calling me because she was worried about her son. I couldn't help but give myself a dry smile.
その様子だと特にトラブルもなく生活できてるみたいね。母さん、ケイチがご飯を作れなくてひもじくて寝込んでるんじゃないかと心配してたわ。
まあね、なんとかおかげで。
ご飯はちゃんと作れてる？今夜は何を食べたの？
へへ、野菜炒めとご飯と味噌汁だよ。スーパーでいろいろとお惣菜を買ったから何気におかずも豊富でさ。そうそう、聞いてよ。豚肉なんかちゃんとタイムサービスを利用して半額で買ったんだぜ。へへ、主婦の知恵っていうのかな。それから。
All that was thanks to Satsuko, and not something I should be proud about. But still, I couldn't help but to boast about dinner tonight. It seemed like Mom got the hint that I was in a really good
そ
mood.
う、しっかりやれていて。そう、それでね、お父さんとお母さんの仕事がなんとか終わったの。明日の昼か夜には帰れると思うから。
あ、そうなんだ。
二晩、よく頑張ったわね。こっちも二晩ほとんど徹夜でね。大変だったけど、なんとか先生のイベントは穴を開けずに済みそうよ。
Oh,
うん、よかったね。お疲れ。
why did my parents coming home seem so disappointing? I knew a little bit of the reason, of course. This tranquility I never wanted to end was about to end so readily, and it was a little painful. After being asked what kind of souvenir I wanted from Tokyo and replying that anything edible would be great, I put down the receiver and Satsuko feared, having finished with her cleaning up her trap. At first, Satsuko was in a very good mood, but when she saw me put down the receiver with an uncertain expression, her own clouded over a bit. It seems she got the gist of what my phone conversation had been about.
ケイチさんのご両親からですの？
ああ、明日には帰ってくるってさ。
それは良かったですわね。明日のお夕食の面倒はもう見なくていいわけでございますものね。家族で水入らずの食卓を囲みなさいませ。
そんなことないよ。また明日からまた無味乾燥な食卓かと思うとなんだか寂しいよ。
何を贅沢言ってますの。家族みんなで囲む食卓が一番楽しいに決まってますわ。
Her brother Satoshi, running away from home came into my mind immediately. But there was no gloom in the way she said it.
私も昨日今日と2日間でしたけど、とても楽しいお夕食を取らせていただきましたわ。
ならさ、今度は俺から聡子の家に遊びに行くよ。
Satsuko momentarily made a happy smile, but then a second later changed the expression of surprise.
うちは狭くて汚いですわよ。お台所もこんなに立派ではありませんし。
俺は別に気にしないぜ。でも、聡子が嫌なら遠慮してもいいよ。
Satsuko shook her head formally, her whole body expressing
そ
denial.
れに俺、聡子にはまだまだいろいろと教えてもらわないとな。ようやく炊飯器の使い方と味噌汁の作り方を覚えた程度だし。
それもそうですわね。これを機会に圭一さんにお料理をお勉強してもらうのもいいかもしれませんわね。
It was so like Satsuko to take this chance to proclaim that it was all for my sake. But there was no way to conceal her own enthusiasm. It was true that this gentle time would come to an end when my parents got back. There was no need for that. I could easily put in the effort to continue our mild moments like this. Like yesterday, Satsuko told me that she didn't need to be escorted home. But Rika-chan wasn't with her tonight. She would be going home all by herself. Everyone knew everyone else's face here in Hinamizawa. So, it wasn't like it was dangerous to go out at night, but it still wasn't good to send a girl on her way all alone. At the very least, that's what I thought as Satsuko's quote-unquote older brother.
じゃあ学校の近くまで送ってやるよ。あそこまで行けば結構街灯とかあるから大丈夫だろ。
本当に大丈夫なんですのよ。悪い人が現れても指一本で撃退してみせますわ。
There was no point in pressing her any further on the subject, so I took a handful of Satsuko's hair and rubbed her head vigorously.
さとこ、ごちゃごちゃ言うな。
Your Nini will bring you part of the way there. That's what I was about to say, and suddenly got embarrassed and my voice trailed off. Nini could only be a nickname for Satsuko gave to her older brother, and nothing else. And I was about to use it pretty lightly, and I started to feel apologetic and a bit ashamed.
Nini?
Eh? What did Satsuko just say? え？
ケイチさんが兄みたいに見えただけですわ。今の言い方全然違うけど、どこか雰囲気が似てましたもので、つい。
Satsuko laughed awkwardly and turned red in the face. Of course, I was embarrassed when I saw her too. Because of the fact that I was trying to act like her older brother had gotten across, a warm feeling spread out from my chest. It was completely different from romantic feelings or any kind of more impatient emotions. It was much more grateful and quiet and warm, even calm. Satsuko still needed her Nini. I had initially thought that Rika-chan was being sly about not coming today, but when I thought about it like this, I could feel a kind of thoughtfulness of her worrying about her good friend's feelings. Maybe Rika-chan had understood that she couldn't play the part of a brother herself. So then, no. Let's stop there, Keiichi, my brother. There's no point in thinking about it so hard. It means everyone feels the same way. It means everyone wants Satsuko to be happy. Satsuko is acting as though her Nini running away from home didn't bother her at all. Even though that wasn't actually the case. She was very sad and always waiting for him to come home, because Satsuko was a stable person when she was his sister. In order for her to really be this level-headed, having a brother was something she couldn't do without. In other words, Satsuko still needed a brother. Nobody had the right to smile away such childish immaturity. In fact, they deserve praise for being so close to each other as siblings. That role of brother should be played by her real Nini, by Satoshi, but unfortunately, he wasn't here. So since I'm here, I will play the part. And not with a guilty conscience, but in a very natural way. Because, was there something wrong with seeing Satsuko smile so happily?
なんですの、ケイイチさん。さっきからずーっとニヤニヤしてますのね。
俺が嬉しそうな顔をしてるとおかしいかな。
別におかしくはありませんけど、
The sound of a motor on her bike light was too loud. I couldn't hear what Satsuko said.
何？なんて言った？
いえ、本当にどこまでもニーニーに似てますのね、ケイイチさん。
そっか？
もちろん本当のニーニーとは全然違うんですけども、こういろいろそういうところが似てますの。
Doesn't this sound familiar? I don't know if I should be happy about that or not, Satsuko. Because trust me, Reina said some shit in chapter 1, and I'm still fucking out of it from that.
本当に不思議ですわね。
似ているとニーニーを思い出して寂しくなるか？
Once I said that, I thought for a moment that that was absolutely the wrong thing to say, but Satsuko didn't seem to mind one bit.
別に寂しくなんかありませんわ。こうしてケイチさんがニーニーの代わりになってくれますしね。その
As I was flustered for a moment at hitting the mark, Satsuko suddenly asked me a question in a calm voice. It was very quiet, composed and adult question.
リカですの？
It was quiet, but her voice sounded lonely somehow.
リカがニーニーの代わりになってくれってケイチさんにお願いしたんじゃありませんの？
そう思うのか？
気を悪くしないでくださいませね。リカって私には変に気を使うんですの。私はそんなに気にしていないのに。
I could say for sure, at least it was a lie. Yesterday and today, Satsuko had been so happy spending time like this with me as siblings. That was proof in itself that she was lying about it not getting to her. So I gave Satsuko a light poke on the head.
考えすぎだよバカ。俺は俺、前原圭一だ。お前のニーニーの北条聡じゃない。
そんなのは分かってますわ。
Despite her saying that, her expression seemed a little lonesome. At this point, Satsuko herself had realized that her question had been the wrong thing to say. We didn't need to keep talking about something that Satsuko regretted. In order to cut the conversation short, I grabbed Satsuko's head and petted her.
そんなくだらない話はもういいだろう。もう遅いからとっとと帰って歯を磨いて寝ろ。ついでだから寝る前にうがいもしとけ。風邪の予防になっていいぞ。
それを言ったらニーニーもですわよ。ちゃんと歯を磨くんですよ。うがいもしてお手洗いも済ませて明日の教科書を準備して、それから
I wonder what kind of siblings Satsuko and Satoshi even were. I've never seen them together, but I could say this without a doubt that they were really close. As for the way in which they were close, it was probably quite like this. It was so cool that the day's heat seemed like a lie, and yet the moonlight was somehow faintly warm. The quiet chorus of the insects was pleasing to the ears. Higurashi? Title card? Title card? There it is. There it is. I fucking knew it. Oh my god. Chapter 3 is hitting different. I'm loving it though. This is great. Holy shit. New tips? Satsuko's trap course. Intermediate? Fucking what? Alright, we'll read the tip. Trap course intermediate. Well, actually, can I save right here? I'm pretty sure I can save right here, right? Oh, I can't save on the tips? What the fuck? Alright, fine. I can see Tomoto-kun and Okamura-kun walking over to the gym storehouse. Wait, can I do a quick save? I'm not hearing any sound, so I'm assuming the quick save did not work. Damn, I just can't. Okay. They were on duty today, after all. But that storehouse, a terrible trap was awaiting them.
トラップって仕掛けた側から見ると本当にハラハラするな。
ケイイチさんにもその醍醐味がわかるなら素質がありましたよ。
The two of them fumbled around with the gym's storehouse lock. Oh, what's this? Okamura-kun pointed out the part of the door that started whispering to Tomoto-kun. Then, realizing something, they both jumped away from the door.
お、サトコ、バレたみたいだぞ。失敗か？
あの二人が入り口のトラップに気づくのは計算済みですわ。そして次にどういう行動に出るかももちろん計算済みですのよ。
Interesting. According to Satsuko, after they noticed the suspicious trap at the door, they would go around and try to get through the back somehow. Or sorry, the back window. And just as she prefaced, they went around to the back. And just as she Yeah. Wait, I said that word perfectly, and that's the same word. How did I fuck it up the second time? I don't know. They climbed up, opened the window, and tried to sneak in.
お、すげえ。サトコの読み通りだぞ。あ、かかった。
An explosion of pure white lime burst out from the window. After a few moments, the two of them managed to crawl away from the window, both of them completely white.
この瞬間がたまりませんわね。蜜の味でございましてよ。
いや、しかしよくかかったよな。あんな器用なトラップ、富田くんが窓を登るときどこに手を置いてどこに足を置くかとか、どこへ飛び降りるとか。
いいですことケイチさん。トラップの第一歩は相手の観察から始まりますのよ。相手の行動パターンを読み、相手ならこの時こう動くというのを綿密に読み切るんですの。
You are more...
そうすれば必要最低限の仕掛けで最大の効果が狙えるトラップが仕掛けられますのよ。
You are more terrifying and potent than I imagined. Come to think of it, before Satsuko read the final move at the final moment earlier, Mion had given her high praise, saying that she had the makings of a genius.
トラップは読みが全てってわけか。じゃあつまり過去に俺が引っかかってきたトラップもみんな俺が読まれてるから引っかかってたってわけか。
ええ、私なりにケイチさんの行動パターンを読み切っているからかかるんですわよ。だからケイチさんがある日突然いつもと違う癖やいつもと違うパターンになってしまったらかからなくなってしまうわけですわね。
Bragging that she could anticipate everything I do. That was kind of mean.
よし、じゃあさ、なんかゲームをやってみろ。サトコの読みが当たるかどうか試してみろよ。
いいですわよ。ケイチさんは特に読みやすいですから朝飯前でしてよ。
When we went back to the classroom, Satsuko tore pieces of paper and wrote something on the back of them, making 3 cards. Of course, I didn't know what she had written.
この中の1枚を引いてごらんなさいませ。外れを引かなければケイチさんの勝ちですわ。
よーし、挑戦してやるぜ。部活で鍛え上げられた俺の感性で見事打ち破ってくれる。
Satsuko smirks and holds out the 3 cards. Set your mind to full power by calming it, Keiichi Maibara. Cool and collected is how you'll win. If I don't pick the losing one, then I'll win. Which means if I do pick it, Satsuko will win. In other words, Satsuko wants me to pick the losing one. What would she do to make sure I pick the losing one? Could she even predict anything like that? Statistically speaking, isn't there some rule that says I'm more likely to pick the one in the middle or the ones on either side? Then, all of a sudden, hitting me like a flash. This is something that Mion would do.
さあ、どれを取るか決まりまして。
決めたぜ。それはな、これだ
ー！何をするでございますの？
I steal all 3 of the cards from Satsuko's hands. I predicted what Satsuko would do in advance. Satsuko wanted to make sure I picked the losing one, which meant all 3 of them were losing ones.
というわけだ。この3枚改めさせてもらうぜ。
I flipped all the cards face up, and on each one was a single word. You're a loser.
なんだこりゃ。はずれ。外れ。
つまりはそういうこと。1枚しか取らなかったなら外れにはならなかったということですわ。
じゃあ俺が3枚まとめて引くの読んでいたってのか？
Okay, that's impressive, actually. I held my head on my hands and fainted as Satsuko revealed the might of her abilities. Her shrill laughter echoed throughout the classroom. and then there was a poof of lime powder came down upon Satoko's head. I looked to see Tomota-kun and Okamura-kun all in white, dumping a whole bag of lime powder on her, getting their revenge.
いきなり何をなさいますのですか、お二人とも。
どうやら誰が罠を仕掛けたのかは問答無用ってところだな。
失礼でございますわね。どこに証拠がございますの？それに罠なんて品のない言い方をやめてほしいですわね。より優雅にトラップと呼んでほしいですわ。
That being said, these two pretending to be tough, not only but standing completely blank and silent. But anyway, ignoring what happened here, having someone chase you with their mouthful of lime in such a way that they can't even speak, yeah, that would be scary even for Satoko.
ケイチさん、助けて。
Our underclassmen clashed around the classroom in furious combat, getting white lime everywhere. Hey, Satoko, why couldn't you see this coming exactly? At the time, I hadn't seen this coming too, though the teacher coming to me afterward giving us all a stern talking to. Damn. Alright, it's the end of chapter 2. And that's where we'll go ahead and end the stream for tonight. Chapter 3 is going amazingly so far, and I cannot wait to see more of it. This is like the sister arc of this fucking chapter. Like, this is the fucking sister arc here. I got no problems with that. I'm all down for that. Alright, though. We're going to go ahead and raid Onyx tonight. He is streaming the original Final Fantasy VII. So that's awesome. Maybe one day I should try to play through the original Final Fantasy VII again and try to beat it, because before I did not beat it. So that ought to be something or another. Yeah, give him support. Give him support. He deserves it. He's fucking awesome and all that shit. I don't know what I'll do for next stream. I was debating on Yakuza 5, but I still didn't go through Haruka's story on my own time. So maybe I'll either read more Higurashi or play another game. I don't know. We'll see when I get to it. Anyways, see y'all whenever I see y'all.